We are fighting for some reason to keep people here.
It's usually the other way around. Like people go abroad and then they stay there because they don't see a future here.
We're living in the same city, but in different realities.
That alone, the fact that you're broke already speaks mediocrity.
If people think you need money to start, that's wrong.
To a certain extent, we all depend on each other.
Do you want to make a change? Become influential.
Anything that gives you a higher status is above the mediocrity threshold.
You don't see the system as a whole because you are inside the system.
If you question every single aspect of your life, at some point you'll realize this is not my own conclusion.
It's irrational to spend money and time. It's irrational, but you're still doing it, so something is driving you.
The beauty of people who are rising after us is they don't have a lot to lose. Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to yet another episode of Unstaged, the After Hours edition. With yet another special guest. There's no time when I don't invite special guests, but I really mean it this time again, because it's somebody I'm meeting for the first time. So without me spoiling the show, I'll hand it over to you. If you can tell us your name, what do you do for a living? And I ask this everyone, how did you get into tech and what's your story behind it? Especially in your case, because I've seen a lot of stuff about you, so I will not spoil the show. I'll let you do it for you.
So thanks for having me. My name is Dmitrii Albot. I'm a hustler. People say I'm unemployed, but in our modern life, it's called entrepreneur. So I'm the founder of two companies. One of them is called CityFarm, and I can proudly say we've built the largest vertical farm in Moldova, and it's slowly becoming one of the most efficient ones in the whole Central Europe. Another journey of mine, we have an IT company, and about 2 years ago, we transitioned towards AI. And now we're an AI agency, and we help companies implement this technology. And probably what I'm very proud of my social mission, I'm the president of the largest business community in Moldova. It's called Tractor. And we are uniting people who care about this country and who try to bring back the economy.
Yeah, it's fascinating when the problem with this country in particular is when I look at the country, I don't see a lot of young people, right? Like a lot of young people lose hope. They're desperate for a better life. And the choice is you fucking go abroad or you stay here, you try to make a living, it doesn't work, you end up going abroad anyway. So when you see young people that try to make a change, try to change something with the variables that they have, which is you live in a poor country, corrupt country, not part of European Union, and all these constraints, which you basically, it pulls you back a little bit and it demotivates you, let's be honest. And when you see that, it's inspiring that, okay, what I'm doing, I'm probably on the right path. We just need more people like us, right?
But I don't think it's particularly bad. We are fighting for some reason to keep people here. But myself, I was not living here like 8 years. And then it was a conscious decision to come back. So now,
what was the story behind you not being here and you coming back?
So since I was a kid, my parents prepared me to study abroad. So I was learning English as additional thing. And I went to study in Germany as an engineer. I did environment and energy engineering. Then I went to MIT in Boston. I did my internship at Fab Academy. Then I lived in Brazil for some time. I lived in the UK. I worked in Jordan. I wrote my bachelor thesis in Netherlands on the cannabis topic.
Quite a journey, I see.
Yeah. And then I came back home and I realized, man, I want to become a farmer. It's the best place to be, I would say.
It's usually the other way around. Like people go abroad and then they stay there because they don't see a future here. So like for anyone who's Moldovan and watching this and wants to be inspired and maybe they want to come back and try to make a change, right? Because there's a lot of potential change to be happening here in the country. Like what's the motivation, right? It's like a lot of people are demotivated if you are all the way honest, given how things are going in the country, in Europe, in the world, I would say even.
To be honest, I'm more optimistic than you probably. Like I see,
I can definitely tell that.
I see. Like when you say it's bad, no, I don't see that. I'm surrounded by people who are more optimistic. But I agree with what you say, and I think it's good to have something to compare with, because whenever you leave the country, you need to understand that you're a foreigner.
Yeah.
And the chances or the odds of success are much lower. Right here, you're well connected. In case something breaks, you go back to your parents. You all have a sleep to eat and stuff like this. But there, the chance nobody knows you, and almost in business or whatever you do, a lot of tied on connections. So you need to have confidence, connection, stuff like this. Once you travel the world, you understand that Moldova is not the worst place. I don't say it's the best place, but it's not the worst place.
It happened to me, I would say,
Yeah.
because I used to think it's way worse than now. But
And
then
agree with it, now it's becoming really better, like on all the benchmarks.
no, what I mean, like when you just stay in the country, you're like, it's shit at this chapter, at that chapter. But then you start going abroad, like, don't even go too far, just go European Union, right? You see regulations in one country, you see maybe the food is not too good in another country, maybe the women are not the best looking.
Yeah.
Like you start seeing stuff, right? And you're
Wine
like,
is not so good,
and
right?
exactly,
Prices are high.
and you
Yeah.
start comparing and contrasting. You're like, maybe it's not so bad, right? Maybe slightly, if we can like adjust the mindset, change a few things, regulations, maybe we can just be living in heaven and whatnot. But if you come in the country, right, and you go on the street, you interview like I don't know, 18 to 25 youngsters, people that try to make a living, people that try to find meaning in life, and where life or what life looks for them in the next 5 years, they don't see a future, or at least for the future for them doesn't look as bright. Uh, you're right. I am more pessimistic when it comes to reality. Let's call it not pessimistic, but more realist, right? There's a certain reality we live in as a country, as like Eastern Europe and whatnot, and given what's happening in the world, in the country, in
I
the
still am gonna
politics.
challenge you. No, I'm not gonna
Yeah,
leave it like
yeah.
that. Let's debate it. Like, what exactly you don't like here? Let's do it.
What do I not like here?
Yeah.
I think we should maybe try and like categorize things, right? Like in particular, let's start with what I like, right?
Yeah.
Let's be positive. Let's be sunshines and rainbows and butterflies, right? What I like, and probably the thing that's still keeping me in the country. It's relatively conservative and cheap to live in the country, right? I
Absolutely.
love the fact that Moldova is a conservative country still. Like we're not importing all the bullshit coming in from the US, from the Europe, right?
Hmm?
That's a good thing. Part of it is probably because we're poor, right? We don't have time to think about transgenders and whatnot.
Ah, okay, so this
Yeah.
type of I see.
So in that sense, it's a good thing we are conservative, because like we're not importing a lot of migrants. We still preserve the Moldovan country, the Moldovan people, civilization, if you will. At the same time, I like the food. I really love the food. Like there's not a single country which I've been where I could say that I love the food better than in Moldova.
Okay.
I
Very
love the food.
patriotic.
I
I
love
like
the
it.
wine. I love the culture to some extent. Some traditions are not for me, I guess, but we have beautiful traditions, right? So in that sense, I really love the country. I love the people. We're very good hospitalers, right?
Yeah. But what's
It's
missing, in your
what's
opinion?
missing. Now let's start with what's missing. We're still a, let's say, post-Soviet country. We still have that mindset in a sense that you're not allowed to think differently. You're not allowed to step aside.
But who is not allowing you?
What I mean is more of a microcosm, right? So ever since you like go like the educational system is a great component of that. The society, your parents, like things contribute to you being raised a certain way, and that way is more restricted to the point where you grow up as someone who's always afraid, right? A lot of the people in the country are afraid of trying, afraid of change, afraid of things in general. And that, to a big extent, is thanks to the educational system, to their parents. Maybe they were oppressed. Maybe they tried and they were punished for that. And educational system, society, parents, leaders, the elite in general, that's kind of the way, right? So in that sense, I don't like that we're not more ambitious. At the same time, you live in a geopolitical reality, right? You're not part of the European Union, and every single time you want to try something, every single time you're basically confronting with like constraints, right? You want to try an app, it's not available in your country. You want to try to do some payment provider integration, it's not available in your country. You want to
So you're
try to
talking
do
about the IT world mostly.
it's in general how like you are viewed internationally, right?
Mhm.
Internationally, our country has a reputation of a 2.5 world country.
Mhm.
We're slightly leaning towards a third world country, right? We're not a third world country, but we're not a second world country either.
Yeah.
So we're right in between, where you have the democracy slash civilization, which you enjoy, which is part of the Western civilization slash modern culture, which we all love and enjoy. At the same time, you have the post-Soviet mentality, which keeps you back, holds you back from success, from prosperity, from trying out stuff. And I would say we should try to keep the conservatism. That's a good thing. At the same time, we try to maybe embrace a bit more change, right? A bit more change in what we do, in how we think, in what we try, in our ambitions and whatnot. Try to be smart. We're a small player. We're like a pawn on the geopolitical chessboard. So try to make smart moves, right? Don't fucking be reckless. Don't make your citizens suffer as a result of that. And that's my problem with the country at the moment. In general, I think we're quite an interesting country. We're right in between stuff. That's my position, I would say, about Moldova. Like we're right in between, like right in between war, right in between opportunities, right in between countries which divide the globe and whatnot. And we have to be smart. And that's my problem. We're not smart, not very smart in terms of the leadership, how the leadership takes decisions and whatnot.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I have a totally different opinion, uh, but I think that's good. We can debate on it, and it's also depending. Probably, like we're living in the same city, but in different realities. And it came to me. I probably maybe because you came here recently. Like whenever I came back, I was very energized, and I was like, "Man, I'm gonna change things now." When I realized, all right, nothing is changing, everything is bad. But after like 1 year, I started meeting similar people. And those people who studied abroad, they came back, they also want to change. We made the community up. And this is where I saw a potential on global arena.
Yeah.
Like everything you mentioned is true, but it can be transformed into a plus rather than, looking at it at negative things. And I don't know, I think every single issue you described is a huge advantage for me. And I will talk about like, a business guy probably, but the war, which is next to us, for me, this is the biggest opportunity we ever had because this shit is gonna end.
And we fucked it up.
Why? It's not
As,
like
I mean, as a country, we could have taken advantage of the situation way more.
I agree with
Like,
that.
if you take let's say, we could have taken advantage of, for instance, the exports, right? We could have exported more. We could have taken advantage of the whole aviation situation.
Hmm.
Like the government is like rejoicing that look, we increased profits, but you only increased profits because Ukrainians have no other choice but to come here and fly from here.
Okay,
But you could have
I see.
made
Yeah.
you could have made way more. Like my problem is mediocrity.
Okay.
That's my problem. Like we are making just enough, but not the right moves which can propel us way higher than we are at the moment. And there's a lot of opportunities, as you say, unexplored opportunities. And the people that come in here with the flame in their chest trying to change stuff, they have that flame within them until they first interact with the public services and the government. Like
I don't agree.
depending on the
Like,
business you try to have
for example,
at some point.
like, look,
let's
I'm in the business community. We
let's
are
say in the farming
150
space.
members.
Let's say in the farming, right?
Farming, yeah. I
Like
think this is the best place to be in. The most subsidized field ever. Like the amount of free cash flowing in is crazy because farming is a strategic point. Like even though the amount of money they pump into this and the output they get is so minimal, they're still gonna pump money into it. And now think about what we do. It's an innovative technological farming. And right before coming here, like literally 20 minutes ago, I signed a contract with 6 new locations. Like what I'm trying to say is um, overall, the situation might be bad.
yeah.
But the farming is bad because people don't want to put the effort to make it better. But those who do put the effort, who have the knowledge,
Let's
who
talk about it. Let's talk
like
about
this is super crazy opportunity, and this is gonna be a bigger difference between somebody who is moving stuff, somebody who is complaining about the government but nothing is happening.
Yeah. No,
But I
that's a fair
really see a
point.
huge opportunity in
But
any field, and I can debate on it, like literally.
let's go on it.
Even with the war, I agree. We as a country probably could do much more than that, but we don't know the situation inside. But I see it as an entrepreneur. This shit is gonna end. The whole country is gonna reconstruct. So if you are good at plumbing, man, if you're a good electrician, you're gonna have to do plumbing for the entire fucking country. Like you better be somewhere around there and
No,
sell
I
your
definitely
services.
agree on this point. Let's because I love the spirit. I love the spirit, so I'll have to take advantage of that.
Yeah.
So let's go back to agriculture, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, you can bitch about it, complain about it, and nothing will change, as you said, or you can try and make some change. Let's talk about, because you said people are not being very smart about it. That's why they don't succeed in agriculture. What's the problem you see with agriculture in Moldova? Because
Free money.
I have a lot of my own opinions and political opinions as well, like what's happening in that sector. But what's your opinion? Why is agriculture in Moldova done wrong, and how can we make it better?
So if you look at the statistics, the agriculture is doing very well with the foreign capital. All the foreign companies who are coming in Moldova investing, they're flourishing. They're doing so well, man. Like you should see the apples they're growing. Huge damn apple, and they're all exporting it. The problem, I think, in my personal opinion, is free money flowing into this sector because it's a strategic thing for Moldova. We are considered agricultural country, very subsidized, a lot of public grants and stuff.
But more on that. We're considered an agricultural country, but we depend on about 90%.
Yeah, that's why I said
We
we're
depend on
considered-
about 90%
Yeah.
on imports. Like if you were to cut imports at the customs, we would not survive as a country because we don't have enough resources secured. And the most sad thing is Ukraine is at war, and we are important. Like they managed to feed themselves and us as well. And if we are agricultural country, what's stopping us from supplying enough food for us and then exporting all the rest for the entire world?
So my answer is free money, and let me give you
Yeah.
what I mean by that. And there is a real case. An entrepreneur, and I know him. He's a farmer, not an entrepreneur. He's a farmer. He's been growing whatever corn.
Yeah.
And I know that because my nun, she's having a lot of, she's growing fish. So she needs to buy like corn or something, like food for the fish. And she goes to the farmer and she wants to buy it. He says, no, only cash.
Yeah.
And he's doing like farming. He does sell only for cash, not legal transaction.
Most farmers, I would say.
Why they do that? Because
Yeah.
they grow stuff from public grants. They sell it for cash and then declare like I don't know, like the climate was bad.
Declare like losses
something.
and stuff.
Yeah, so I couldn't grow stuff.
Yeah.
And then the government subsidizes, so they get double funded for something they sold for cash. And then in public records, you don't see this output. But in reality, he sold for cash when he got the money from the government as a subsidy. And for him, he's not incentivized to grow quality crop and sell it. It's additional effort. He's incentivized to trick the system and get pumped money.
Yeah, but what about the farmers that went to the banks? They took loans.
Yeah.
And now banks are coming and executing them because they are not capable to pay the loans. And the government isn't doing anything about that. Because like what they could do is delay the loans or the executioners basically. And with subsidizing, like I've heard a lot of, I'm not exactly sure to what extent that's true or not, but I've heard a lot of bad news about that the government is lagging behind with the subsidy, right?
Mhm.
So they, on paper, as a farmer, you're supposed to be subsidized this amount, but the government, because of the national debt and whatnot, is not capable of doing that yet. So it kind of
But let's
delays
think-
the subsidy.
Yeah, but let's think about differently, man. If
Yeah.
you're doing business, like why would you rely on somebody's support?
No,
to
I agree with
succeed?
that. I would never
Like,
rely on,
that's the
especially on
fundamental
the
thing.
government.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
that's the fundamental. Whenever you're producing something, your skill is to optimize the cost and sell it for more expensive and keep yourself some profit. If you're not capable of this, something is wrong with your model or with your approach. So you'd rather change whatever you do, right? If your model initially is dependent on public grants or subsidies, something is wrong fundamentally. And
Yeah,
this is what I'm
it's-
trying to say.
Yeah.
Like foreign capital who is coming here, this is heaven, man.
Yeah, but let's
Taxation, the fields are very fertile.
I think the biggest complaint about like the way things are done on the, let's say, legislature level, especially from like farmers and whatnot, is and I see this for myself, like when you go into stores, and maybe you can explain more on this one. When you go into stores in any pretty much any store in Moldova, you don't see a lot of Moldovan grown crops slash food slash vegetables or whatever on the shelves.
There is a reason for
So
that.
so the reason is the reason cost, or is somebody trying to kill the agricultural sector
No,
on
man.
purpose?
No, what the
Yeah,
fuck?
yeah. No,
No.
no. I'm just asking. I'm
Uh,
trying to be the devil's
yeah,
advocate.
let me
Yeah,
tell
yeah.
you how it's working. There is a law that tells any retailer that half of the products on the shelf have to be from Moldova. This is how the government is
But do they have
basically.
to oblige?
It's a law. They have to. They have to.
Yeah, but you walk in the store, like the biggest stores, and it's not actually put in practice. Like most of it is Turkey.
Yeah, but a Moldovan company is bringing it in, so it's considered like.
No, but I
It
mean
doesn't have to be
Moldovan
produced in
Moldovan
Moldova.
grown, like,
Yeah, but we don't grow stuff, man. If you
because
think of things we grow, we don't grow like I don't know
yeah, but you have a
tea.
lot
We
of
don't grow tea. We don't grow coffee. But
no
look how much coffee we
with that I
consume.
agree. But you have, let's say, tomatoes. You
Yeah,
have I don't know, carrots,
yeah. So the
cucumber,
problem is
all that.
season, because we grow. The traditional agriculture is very old, and we didn't modernize it. We cannot grow during winters.
Yeah.
And think from a perspective of Kaufland, the number one, or Linella, they want to have a contract with a supplier whom they can rely on, right? Because we
Yeah,
don't stop the consumption. The consumption is the same, but local farmers cannot make it with a supply.
yeah, like logistically speaking, it makes sense that you want a stable contract
Absolutely.
with someone who is always going to deliver to
Yeah.
you.
So who is stable? Countries whose climate is good enough to grow all year round.
Yeah.
That's the basic economic reason behind it. Why we are coming with vertical farming concept? Because we are climate independent. Vertical farming, you don't rely on sun. You have LEDs like
Yeah,
they're
but let's
constant.
take let's not take maybe vegetables, which is maybe subject to the sun and the climate.
Yeah.
Let's take, for example, produce like milk,
Yeah.
cheese, and whatnot. Technically, you are not depending on the season, right? You can feed the cow all fucking year around and produce milk, and
Yeah, but how
we're
do
still
you?
importing most of the milk from Ukraine.
Yeah, but I mean, it's still to close the chain. You need to create conditions for the cow, for the people to work there, for the food. Like the food doesn't grow in the winter, so you need to somehow,
Yeah, but you can buy that. You can have like stored
Yeah.
warehouses and whatnot. Like people who do it for scale, on a scale, they already have everything set up, right? You have the food for the winter, you have the grass, which is during the warm seasons and whatnot. So in that aspect, we're still importing everything, right?
Yeah, and the final reason, if you're talking about a local producer
Yeah.
who has a choice, like let's say he produces whatever it is all year round, he has a choice to sell here or sell somewhere where it's more expensive. Him as a businessman is going to take a smart choice. It's not a patriotic choice to feed the world. It's about making money. That's why he started this business. If somebody's paying more,
You mean Ukrainians selling to us?
yeah. If Moldova is paying more for
Yeah, but
Ukrainian
why is that the
products,
case? Why is Ukrainian produce more competitive compared to ours?
it's added value. Think about it. We are doing the how do you call it?
That
The stuff you make bread from, like the flour,
dough,
the
flour?
flour, yeah, flour.
Yeah.
Like we're producing the flour, selling it to Italy, and then importing pasta from Italy. So we sell raw material,
Yeah.
and we buy back the product with added value. So the money the profits are in the added value. So all the basic money is like if you think about the raw materials, Moldova doesn't have a big competitive edge to Ukraine. Same prices for raw materials. The profit is an added value.
So you're saying the
So
processing of everything that, like, for example, milk, cheese, and whatever, because of the fact that it's been processed more efficiently in Ukraine, it is as a result more competitive to.
yeah, you need knowledge, you need capital to build a production facility,
Yeah.
and knowledge to operate it more efficiently than anybody else in the world, and you need skills to sell it.
Yeah.
Like you need free skills, free people, free teams, whatever you.
But would you argue that there is, because a lot of, especially I see farmers complaining about this, I'm not sure if this is a political move or not, but I see farmers complaining about the fact that the Moldovan government is lobbying certain big transnational corporations, including from Ukraine, which allows them to basically sell at a higher scale because they're big. But what that does in the end result is it's killing small to medium businesses which try to make a living here, try to sell on the local market.
I look. There is two sides of the coin. Let's talk about money because this is the driving force,
Mhm.
right? From the governmental perspective, would you support 10 companies who are barely profitable, or you'll allow one giant who's gonna bring you shitloads of cash by
Yeah,
paying
but it's not all
taxes?
about profit. Like
It is
food,
all about money
no.
because the local
But you
economy is
could
about
you could
money.
make the same argument about education. Like it doesn't make sense to subsidize education because it's not profitable. But that's not the point. It's like the point is not
But
to
why
make it
you need
profitable.
education to grow people who are gonna pay more taxes?
Not necessarily is to raise the next generation who will pay taxes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
But
it is about profit
but
later.
yeah, but you're capitalizing on it later.
Yeah, but it's still about money.
But if you take the food security,
Yeah,
would you say is critical
it
for
is.
a country to have food security? And if you're always relying on imports and you never know what the fuck is going to happen given the fact that you like live close to Ukraine, what if a situation of war happens tomorrow here? Let's just say for whatever reason, we're not going to get into details, it happens, then you're fucked. You don't have food security. And if the primary goal is profits, yeah, it makes sense. You're not going to invest in like small like mom and dad shop who's trying to make a living here. It makes more sense to invest in transnational corporations which make a living and brings you more profit. At the same time, when situations like this happen, you lack food security as a country, basically.
That's true. But put yourself in the shoes of an investor. You have a choice to invest in 10 startups who have just an idea, just a pitch deck. Or you have a guy who is doing profit, I don't know, 5K or 10K a month.
Yeah,
Whom would you invest?
it's obvious. I would invest in whoever got more potential.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah.
You want to support local entrepreneurs, but that's the game, man. Nobody pays attention until you actually proved you can, right? And it's not about like I think it's very wrong to think that the government doesn't want to support. It wants to support, but prove that you are worth supporting. You know what I mean? It sounds a bit different, but put yourself in the shoes of a government as an investor who is allocating the budget.
But it's impossible for you to compete. Like if you take a small poor country, it's impossible for you to compete with French agriculture, with German agriculture, and even I would say Ukrainian agriculture, given the scale they have
I
compared to
agree.
us.
Yes.
So, given you are already in a losing position,
And
if,
you are.
if profit is the ultimate goal, then your only choice as the government is you're saying you should kill the local
No, you should not
small
kill.
businesses
No, you should
because it
bet on
makes more
something.
sense.
No, you should not kill. You
Yeah.
should bet on something that brings higher return on investment. But that means yes, you have to kill somebody who is not.
No, but if the stores,
But it's just the law of evolution, basic
if the
evolution.
stores are not, let's say, if you're not forcing like big supermarkets' hands to have some kind of local contracts with local distributors, and them as a result they're buying from like big distributors which come from Turkey, Ukraine, and whatever. Like you as a government don't intervene. Like why do we even have taxes for certain products? Like you try to buy a video or photo camera, you will pay some tax for that, even though it's stupid. The reason for that in other countries would be you try to protect the local producer and try to basically incentivize people to buy from them instead of buying from whatever is imported.
Mhm.
And I don't see that incentive in agriculture. Like when you go as a customer, you want to buy the cheapest stuff, but the cheapest stuff always happen to be the imported stuff, not our local stuff. And a lot of people, I also heard this opinion. A lot of people complain that, yeah, but the local produced grown vegetables are more expensive. That's why supermarkets are not buying it. And they even put under the question mark the quality of it.
But I think you answered yourself. Like because of why local is more expensive because of the scale.
Yeah.
Climate and scale. Whenever you grow under the sun and you feed the whole world with your Italian greens, like yes, it's cheap. You don't pay anything. Like it comes from the sun. In Moldova, it comes cheap only during the season.
Yeah.
But you need to feed the world in winter too. So if you want to grow the same thing, you've got to pump money in form of heat, energy, irrigation. That costs money. So yes, your product is more expensive. And the government made a law that half of the products have to be Moldovan. But in the end, like you have a Moldovan product, which is more expensive, and you have an imported product, which is cheaper. And
So
the
how does it
consumer
work?
is going for the cheaper one. Like,
How does it work? Because you mentioned there's like a loophole in the law. So there are like local companies that import stuff and then they sell it as if it was produced in Moldova.
yeah,
Because I think I've seen the same like hack
like everybody's doing it.
being applied with like certain crops, like they import it from China, and
And you put
technically,
a label on it,
yeah,
and it's made
technically
in
European
Moldova.
Union has like regulations that we apply a certain tariff if it comes from China, but because it comes from Moldova and they try to help us make it into the European market, they give us some quotas and whatnot, and it comes from China, but it has the label that it's actually from
But
Moldova.
look at coffee. You bring it in big sacks. You roast it here, and you package it in small.
You roast it here.
Yeah, we have
There are people
roasteries.
who do it.
Yeah, Tucano is roasting it. I think we have several roasteries, very good ones. And like it's already like what it was bought as raw material, processed here or added value,
Yeah.
packaged in smaller like grams, and distributed. So yeah, this is added value to a product, and this is made in Moldova. Like in order to add value, you made a company, you assembled a facility, you hired people, you paid taxes, so you added value to this product, and that's why it's made in Moldova.
Yeah, I wasn't aware we like have coffee because
Yeah, we
most of
have
the coffee
roasteries.
that I personally use is like whatever Italian coffee, German
Yeah.
coffee, and whatnot.
But
So
again,
yeah,
Italian coffee, Italians are doing the same, and they don't grow
yeah,
coffee.
it's
Like
not
they
like
are
people.
taking Ethiopia, roasting there and
If you
packaging,
take
and
any
then
product, there is not a single product, I would say these days, that is produced from top to bottom in just one country. Like if you take
that's
all
why
the
you have
materials,
economy to survive, and that's
yeah,
my point. It's all about the money. Like you want to believe it or not, you may think environmental is good, patriotism is good. Man, it's about the money. And if you think of a government as a company whose I don't know role is to be on international arena as strong as possible, but it can do it by growing its economy, because by growing its economy people are living better, and this is how they give you social security, education. It's all about the money. It's the driving force.
no, that's
And
true. At the same time, I lean also more towards a capitalist society, but you need some kind of social reforms, right? You need some kind of social regulations which protects your people who's trying to do that. Because back to my point about like food security, right? You need a way to like survive. That's why you have reserves of any kind. You have money reserves, you had food reserves, you have oil reserves. So in that sense, we as a country don't have food security. Like if you were to stop the customs for 2 or 3 months, you effectively kill the country because everything depends on imports.
but
And
don't you think the government wants to support? There is just not
and give it
anybody to
and
be able to produce so much. But if you
speaking
can
about,
produce so much, you'd rather sell it for more expensive, like basic economy.
yeah, it's a win-win, I would even say. If you incentivize people to produce more, meaning they can sell more, meaning they can sell for more expensive, you grow the economy. But speaking of the economy, like when you have a country which is about 90% dependent on import, it's also a country which is very easy to control because you might come in the embassy and like open the fucking door with your leg and say, look, you're adopting this fucking law or no imports, and you can just have more influence over a small pawn like Moldova.
I had a conversation with the former, like we can say, director of USAID, and for those who don't know, USAID doesn't exist anymore.
Yep.
And we had this debate, and the analogy I like is think of you have a child,
Yep.
and you're protecting the child until it's young, but there is a certain point when the child should leave. Imagine you keep caring of a child who is 40 years old.
Yeah.
What are the consequences? Or the child is 50 and you still keep supporting it. What do you think? What are the consequences?
The consequences for you or for him?
Like for the child who is 50 years already and you've been taking
They
care.
live in a non-reality, basically.
Yeah, they cannot
haven't
be independent.
experienced the
They're
brutal.
very dependent on you.
Yeah, they haven't experienced the brutality of reality.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this is what's been happening to our country through the entire history. Like we've been always dependent on somebody.
We still are.
Still
we're
are.
like, I would say we're like Palestine,
Yeah.
but in the middle of European Union.
So, well, I had this debate with USAID because they've did a lot of projects, a lot of amazing job. Like really, they've really supported. This is my opinion. But my point of view was, as long as you guys exist, this country has no chance to be independent. Like it's impossible.
We
It's
never
like,
thought for independence.
yeah, we're like being a kid who is 50 years old,
Yeah,
and
like
USAID is giving us money. And unfortunately, you love it or not, this has been going on throughout the history. And these are the consequences we have to pay, right? And this is where it comes, all the debate we're having. I want to grow food, but it's hard because somebody else is paying more. So I'd rather sell more because I'm a businessman. That's why I run a business.
yeah.
And then I care about my country, but it's just business. It's just money.
No, I agree with that. At the same time, like, what is the solution? Like, because
Added value. Creating products with added value.
it's easy to be an expert when you're just minding your own business, but
Yeah.
when you're the government, I heard this phrase the other day when I was watching a podcast, and the guy was like, when you're the government slash president or whoever is governing the country, what you are essentially is an asset manager. You're trying to make the biggest elite slash mafia slash oligarchy happy enough so they don't overthrow you.
Okay.
So it kind of makes sense given that aspect. Like, if you have the biggest companies, businesses thriving, it means you make them happy. It means you stay in power a bit more. It means you're happy. You have a good reputation. You can candidate for another mandate and whatnot. Or you can make the poor people happy, and everyone else is gonna fucking like. You're not gonna survive long.
But you are giving the argument from an influence point of view.
Yeah.
I'm giving you an argument from a pragmatical point of view. Who is paying taxes? The economy of any country is relying on business entrepreneurs who are paying taxes. And this
Depends.
is,
I wouldn't say we're very reliant on taxes. We're more reliant on debt. Like if you take internal and external national debt,
yeah, yeah.
it has increasingly grown, especially in the last 4 years.
But in general, who is driving the economy as it is? Somebody is producing goods and services.
I agree. Yeah, I definitely agree. Like if you're a big player, as a result, inevitably you pay more taxes. If you play by the official rules, you declare everything, right?
But what I'm trying to say is that the main driver who is producing goods and services
Yeah.
is getting the protection from the government because the government is relying on goods and services, of movement of goods and services, which is building the economy. So my argument to you is not because not the government is supporting those companies because of influence. They're supporting us because it makes sense economically. So that's what I'm trying to say.
I would argue in some cases is like how does government work in our country, right? You go become a legislator in parliament or in the government because potentially you probably want to protect or make it into some kind of field in the business. So what happens is the reason why you have this feeling of certain sectors being more, let's say, prosperous than others during certain periods where you have different politicians is because some of them try to lobby basically themselves, or they have people that rely on them and they lobby them, and as a
Yeah,
result you have better policies,
yeah.
better coverage and whatnot.
You get opportunities.
Yeah, like for example, let's take the IT sector, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people think, especially internationals, that the IT parks law, which is a very noble law, is because we want to make everybody transparent. In reality, the IT park law was created because we wanted to do money laundering a bit more official.
Okay.
Yeah, at least that's the version that I heard. And as a result, then people are like, okay, everybody's doing things transparently. Let's also adopt this thing. And then you have companies, investors, and to the point where this is becoming a big critical part of the GDP.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have politicians which see that we're fucked on taxes. We can't squeeze people more. National debt is increasing. Maybe we should touch the IT sector, but then change. I don't know if you heard about that, but they wanted to basically abolish the IT parks law.
No, they don't. We just prolonged it. The contract.
No, they were talking about it right when
Mm.
the government was elected.
I see.
Like, should we do that or not? And then I guess they quickly realized this is a stupid move, so they gave up on the idea. But it's the same everywhere. Like, yeah, money is the ultimate moving. Like, let's take Ukraine, right? Everybody's at war, gas is still flowing, people are still paying for the transportation of the gas, nobody gives a shit, people are dying, business is business, business is always. So yeah, ultimately that's the moving factor. At the same time, I think that you as a government have to intervene whenever things go south.
Mhm.
Like for instance, if you take European Union, what's their biggest problem right now? It's
I
also
think population, man. I think.
it's also in relation to taxes. Their biggest
Yeah, of
their
course.
biggest issue right
We've
now,
got immigrants in, so somebody works and
yeah,
pays.
so
Yeah,
their
yeah.
biggest issue right now is they've promoted this leftism so very much to the point which affected the birth rate, which affected people not being capable of paying taxes because the population is so old. Now we need a bunch of migrants because we need people to pay taxes. And as a result, you're losing your identity as a country. So you've solved one problem, but you've created a whole new problem. And my point is, we should intervene when the time is right and make like surgical corrections. Otherwise, we risk creating a whole new problem.
But I think if you want to make a change, you need to be big enough so people hear you. And this is a good challenge. You want to make a change, become influential in
Yeah,
any
you
ways or another.
you got to be the change you want to see in the world. I
And then
always
you can
abide
do
by
it for
that.
different means. You can be a great athlete and you can be heard. You can be a good actor. You can be an entrepreneur. You can be a politician, a public speaker. You can be whatever you want. Just be good at it. And then your voice will hear. And this is how you make a change.
You know that Lil Wayne lyric? He was like, "Be good or be good at it."
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so it's the same here. I
Yeah.
no, I definitely agree. Yeah, this was definitely a good debate on. And I was like always, oh, like I was always curious what's happening, but more so not from let's say political bird's eye view, because you see a lot of polarization, especially in the agriculture. Like every single time people want to get elected, they've come with their fucking trucks and they make a protest and whatnot, and then the whole fucking center is blocked, and people have this weird idea of like agriculture and farmers, and they always complain. But it's interesting to hear an insider opinion.
So I'm telling you, I have many. I'm fortunate to have many people I know in the government. Honestly, I think they fuck up many things, but they do an amazing job. Like this is my personal opinion, and it is debatable. But what they're bad at is talking about it. Like I think their marketing sucks because they're doing great things and nobody knows about it.
Yeah, it's always a bad
But
thing.
I think they work on real problems. This is again my opinion, and you can talk about it. About agriculture, I think we need to break down into what it means to be a farmer and a businessman. But if you depend on somebody else's free money to do something, there is something fundamentally wrong here, right? If you expect the government to help you, this is wrong. This is my opinion. Like, if you want something, just grab and do it.
Oh, but
I don't think there is, challenges to do things.
let's take the loan situation alone. Like there's a lot of farmers that took loans to invest in, let's say, modern tech so they can do modern agriculture, right? And what they've done is they've made the risk. Obviously, the risk is not on the government, but
Yeah.
what the government can do is can intervene and tell the banks to like calm the banks' greed off a little bit.
But
Just
this is
like
not greed, man. This is like, why would somebody give you free money so you try stuff?
yeah, that's a fair point because
Like,
it doesn't happen when you
and
buy an
the bank
apartment,
gave
right?
you an offer.
Yeah,
You went to the bank to ask for the money. You understand? Like, don't take it.
yeah, but you have to also be mindful
It's just a tool.
of the let's say waterfall effect. Like if a lot of people are falling, you're gonna have a dot com, you're gonna have a Great Depression in your country at least. And you as the government, you want as much as you can to incentivize consumption. So the moment you have population that doesn't like is afraid of consumption, you don't have production, you don't have GDP, you don't have like to a certain extent we all depend on each other. Like I produce something, you buy it, then somebody buys something from you, and we live in this consumption circle, right? So if you stop consumption at one level, as a result in the chain reaction, consumption will stop in the circle, and you will have this downfall effect
Yeah,
basically.
but let's break it down. You have consumption because of what? Because people have money. People have money how? Because they get paid at jobs. They get paid of jobs. Why? Because companies are profitable and they can afford paying salaries.
Yeah, but companies also have business with other companies. Let's say you're a company who is producing, I don't know, fucking chairs or
Yeah,
any kind of furniture,
yeah.
and you depend on somebody who's producing the raw materials from the wood. You
Yes.
depend on whoever's importing the wood from. Let's say you're a restaurant, you depend, like you're making steaks and whatnot, you depend on import of meat. If for whatever reason you're not able to like meet the demand, you're gonna lose. Or let's say the customers become poor, or let's say the customers lose their job. Like if whatever, like any component in this chain is falling, the entire chain is fucked. Like if you don't have customers buying your meat, your restaurant is going to close, because you can pay taxes, you can pay the rent and whatnot, whatever other expenses you have. If you're not selling food, you can't make a profit. If you can't make a profit, you can't pay your employees who work there. If you can't pay your employees will not spend money buying some other shit.
Yes, and that's what I'm trying to
Yeah.
say. So you get consumption, but you just broke it down yourself from the starting point. Government has two options: either monopolize things and produce everything itself,
Yeah.
which is a hard thing to do. Second thing is to incentivize and grow many, many, many little producers. And this is what it's doing. Man, amount of money into grants is amazing. Like so many money like is going in. It's crazy.
How do you
I
take
don't
it?
think it's good. I think the efficiency is horrible, right? Like, it would be much more efficient to build. So, the government builds an irrigation system for the country. Let's, rather than pouring money into many little companies who become
Yeah, but every
agriculture.
time
But
a government, like every single time a government is a really bad manager.
I agree. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So efficiency is not good, but that's the option they chose, and I think this is the right option to do. But now you need smart people who know how to use the money. Otherwise, you get stuck with people who take the money and can't afford to pay back or don't know what to do with it. So you need knowledge.
Have you benefited from any of this free money?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I
how does
tried
it
it.
work? How does it work for?
So basically, every public grant has an incentive. For example, to support local young entrepreneurs, or eventually, so you pay taxes, or
Yeah.
eventually you hire people. And that's how the government is growing the economy, helping you grow or start. And I got an experience with ODA, which is organizational for development of entrepreneurship. It was a good experience. I got the start pentrutinier, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was good. But the main lesson I learned, if it's the main source, you're fucked, man. Like, it has to be a nice bonus, but definitely not the starting point.
Yeah. A lot of
Otherwise, you're screwed.
No, you're right, because a lot of Moldovans, they rely on the government as they rely on the lottery.
Yeah.
Like they buy the lotto ticket, they hope they win.
Yeah.
But what if you don't?
And that's what I'm saying. It's
Yeah.
not about depending on your parents. It's time to learn to be independent. This is a hard path to do.
How do you become an entrepreneur in a relatively not easy spot to be in? It's not easy to be born in Moldova and try to make a living given the geopolitical position you have, right? So how do you become one?
So,
Let's say you want to be a farmer. Let's
yeah.
take your use case.
So actually, statistically, the most efficient, the most prosperous entrepreneurs, I'm talking about the statistics of unicorns. Unicorn is a company more than $1 billion capitalization.
Yeah.
Most of the founders are not from the cities, from the villages, or foreigners or immigrants, as the statistics.
What you're saying is those people are hungry people, but eventually they come to to some kind of center, like to some kind of metropolis where things are more possible,
Yes,
if you know what I
but
mean.
they're like, they're immigrants or something like that. And it's counterintuitive because usually if you are living in a big city, well-established
No,
family,
it
your odds
actually
are
makes
bigger.
sense. It makes sense to me because they are more hungry people.
Yes, let's put it like that.
Yeah,
It's more
yeah,
complicated, but let's put it like that. And now answering your question, the poorer is the country, the hungrier are the people.
yeah.
So this is the best place to be
Yep.
because there are more problems.
How do you like?
Business is about solving a problem. The more problems you have, the bigger the chance you've got, something.
What are some of the biggest challenges in somebody who wants to be a relatively profitable farmer?
To be a profitable, it's hard, man.
Yeah,
it's
that's my
it's
point.
good to
Like
have a hobby. It's hard to make it
you
profitable.
don't want to
That's
just spin the wheel,
yeah, I
be on
agree.
zero or even worse, go
Um,
negative.
I think the best way to do is to talk to people who are investing money, because if you start, this is your first try. But for investors, they see people like you every day, so they get a chance to compare a lot of things. They don't build businesses themselves. They just see it and they can compare it. Man, the experience they have, like he can look at it and say, "Man, no chance," because I've seen 20 people like you trying the same thing.
Yeah.
So it's about having this experience, I would say.
Do we have a lot of investors?
We are getting more and more. And actually, I had a meeting 3 days ago with a big investor from Netherlands who is launching two big funds here in Moldova. One of them is going to be like 300, 500k euros, the average check. Another one, 2, 3 million euros check for one company. So I think this is huge. The access to capital is getting better and better. It's a good sign.
Yeah, but you have to, I guess, be exceptional to be part of that.
No, you just have to prove you have a business model which is working.
Yeah, yeah.
But how do you do? Just fucking try. Like if you if you think you're gonna
Like how people
exceed,
try it, how people try in let's say the current reality we live in, they go take a loan. Why do they take a loan in the first place? Yes, they understand the risk, but the principle behind it is time, right? I can buy myself the time now, so potentially if everything goes well, I'll just be able to buy myself the time back
yeah,
with the success of my business. Problem is they rely that the business is going to be, and they think it will be successful. They don't count for the situation when it's not going to be,
yeah.
and they're going to be a bankrupt basically.
So they're scaling the the problem
Yeah,
basically.
so it's a good mindset that you want to buy time now, because now you don't have the money and you can't work forever until you're ready in 2050, so that then you can open a business. But at the same time, you need to have some kind of cushion where if things go south, it doesn't work, you are able to pull the plug and still be safe and not lose your fucking house, as a lot of people are in. Like a lot of people, especially in the farming, I hear, are losing their, not only the gear that they bought, but their house, their whatever they acquired before they even gotten into the business.
I think in general, if people think you need money to start, it's wrong. You don't need money to start. Either you're doing goods or services, you don't need money to start. You need money to scale, which means I buy it for $1, I sell it for $2. It's good. It's working. I'm making $1 profit. Either I reinvest the dollar or I take a loan and I'm doing 10x simultaneously because the model is proven to be working,
Yeah.
right? But once I'm testing, I don't need money, man. This is very dangerous. And this is where people are fucking up. They take money for an unproven model, then they burn it and they need to pay it back, but they don't have an engine to pay it back. So you need money to scale.
How do you validate a model so then you can say, okay, this fucking works. I'll get some money so I can scale it.
Like you try things. I like this. Actually, the question I asked you before we started: how do you measure? Is it a successful interview or not?
Yeah.
Right? If it is, and you measure number of comments, number of messages, then you try to understand what was special in this interview, and you multiply on that. Right?
No,
If people commented because of your white shirt,
yeah.
you make your white studio next time. You understand? This is about taking a loan. You multiply on something which is working.
Yeah, but you might be optimizing on the wrong thing.
Absolutely. Then how
Yeah,
do
you
you
need to be
prove
careful.
it? That's the problem.
Like
Understanding what's working.
I would say there's like, when it comes to anything you try in general, whether
Yeah.
it's a business or like a side hustle, you need to give it some time so you can know what you want to optimize on. You can't optimize too early.
Yeah.
You need to be patient a little bit.
But what I like it putting is like that. The moment you understand the cause and effect.
Yeah, a lot of people.
When you see the cause and effect makes sense, you put more money and it's working. Because you understand if A equals B, I can put 10x A and I'll get 10x B. Makes sense. So to understand the relationship if A equals B, this is what's taking time and skills.
Yeah, that's I think the problem is people either end up burning themselves too much, which is too late to pull the plug, or they immediately want immediate validation and they pull up too early. So you need to balance between the two. Like you give it enough. It's like plants, right? Not every plant grows at the same rate. and the same season and whatnot. So you want to give it enough time for it to grow, so you can then make your assumptions. Okay, I cut the cord, I pull the plug, or I let it grow because it's successful.
But you
So
know what's a good life hack?
yeah,
To get somebody who knows the cause and effect. Basically, like to give an analogy, if you want to learn how to swim,
yeah,
what do?
I would hire an instructor.
Like it's obvious. If you wanna do business, it's your first time. Just get somebody who has done it multiple times. This is how you shorten your learning curve by so
back
much, man.
back on my point with what's the problem with the country. I think, to add on that, another problem we have as a nation is we're too fucking proud
To
and
ask for help.
arrogant. Like arrogance
Yeah.
drives through the roof.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Like you cannot be in the position where somebody's gonna teach you how to do stuff. Like you fucking know everything if you're a Moldovan. You know how to plumb, you know how to build your house, you know this, you know that. You're gonna educate people on every, like if you check comments online,
Yeah.
people are gonna educate you on every matter, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's the problem. Like we need to allow ourselves to be a bit stupid, to be educated, to be in the position where an expert is teaching us how to do things, right? And I think that's the problem. And I think maybe that's the answer to the agriculture and why it suffers in Moldova. People try to do things their own way without even like taking for granted the advantage of learning from history. Okay, this doesn't work, or maybe there's a more experienced guy, or maybe I should talk to somebody, as you said.
I agree with that. And I think it's because of misinformation. If you think about it, everything you see on Instagram or social media is success stories. And you don't feel right to fail or to show that you failed. To
That's
asking
also,
for help, it's like, man, I don't know
it's
enough.
part of the educational system. Like if you go to school, you're not
You're
allowed to
judged,
fail.
right? You're
You're not allowed to
judged.
fail
Yeah.
if you answer the wrong way. If
Yeah.
like there's the correct way of doing things, right?
Yeah.
And
So you're right. I
yeah,
think it starts from childhood, from the educational system, but I think it's getting better. Like at least in our business community, we are populating failure to be in front of a camera and be in front of people saying, "Man, I fucked up."
yeah,
And I want to say it's normal because if you think you're gonna succeed the first time, you are living in an illusion. This is okay to fail. Like makes sense, man, to fail the first time. This is your first time you're trying.
as somebody said it and put it, like a successful man is nothing but a person who has more iterations than you. Yeah, like
Absolutely.
it's the
Absolutely.
same case with everything. Like I know I'm gonna fuck up, then I'm gonna get better, 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 and then eventually all of a sudden you're successful. And yeah, it's an interesting concept which I would say is universal, because you can apply it in business, you can apply it in anything that you're shit at but you want to be better at.
But it's kind of counterintuitive because information we get it or we get inspired in by success stories, and the success stories are visible, but thousands of unsuccessful they're not visible. We don't even know about them.
Even the ones that are visible, I would argue that you see the fruits but don't see the process. And a lot of people, like even our brain has indulged in this. Like if you take social media for instance, the brain is daily involved in constant receival of dopamine from the fruits, from the results, right? You don't see the process as much. And what happens, I think, is you get indoctrinated and you get accustomed to the idea that I'm not supposed to work hard enough. I'm not supposed to like the process. Like I will only push myself hard today so that I can enjoy the fruits of my work for the 50 years, which is wrong. And I would argue nothing on this planet is owned. Everything is for rent. Your health is for rent, your success is for rent, the respect you get from people is for rent. And the rent is due every fucking day. And like when you look at success stories, especially Instagram, LinkedIn, people think you do one thing one day and then you get to enjoy it for whatever years, which is wrong. Like you gotta love the process, is my point.
But then I think talking to other people in your field makes you come down to reality. So because everyday life, if you're next to people who are trying doing same thing like you, succeeding in sports or arts, you understand, man, I'm not alone suffering.
How do you
And
find those people?
communities, I think like the best we could do is build an entrepreneurial community, and it helps you keep yourself sane because this is hard, you're suffering, but you feel alone.
Yeah,
But when you meet people who are suffering too, it's like, oh man, let's go
not
suffer
so bad.
together. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you understand this is normal and this is part of the process. And it's your game. You chose this game, right?
Yeah.
And now you have a choice. All right, everybody's suffering. I know I'm gonna suffer. Do I want to continue, or I'd rather switch to chess? Like it's your choice. But at least you're not living in an illusion. But it's easy, and this is the power of the community. You learn quicker by the experience of other people. I encourage everyone, whatever the fuck you do, join a community. It's gonna be much faster to learn.
Yeah, no, that's definitely true, because
Same as YouTube, man.
YouTube
Build a community. If there is no
crazy.
community, build one. Trust me.
Yeah, I was thinking about, like, my problem and doing it in Moldova is like, okay, you're doing YouTube. Okay, what's your niche? Okay, you're doing
Yeah.
educational stuff. Nobody does that. Like, the only thing, if you take YouTube in Moldova, is people do is fucking political shows. So
No,
if
I
either
don't
it's
agree.
political show or it's brain rot / entertainment. Like, if you're not doing any of those two, you're basically alone. And I was thinking about this community thing, right? Where you build a community of people which I don't know, gather together, share their experience and whatnot. And I don't see a lot of that here. People kind of do what's popular. Like, we have this is another syndrome of our nation. You do whatever's popular, right? You see somebody selling tomatoes, you sell tomatoes. You see somebody fucking open a car wash, you open a car wash. And you have this syndrome of copying everyone around who's doing something successful. And sometimes you're like, you have this feeling of you being alone because you try to do something different. And a lot of the times I would even argue you have to be ready to be alone. Like, it's not
We're
popular.
born alone, we die alone, man.
No, it's not popular. Like, a lot of the hard choices are not popular, I'll say that. And a lot of success relies on hard choices, and people are not ready to make them. So a lot of the times you will be alone, but that's not the nevertheless, you should look for a community, I would say. And yeah, I would argue that's value, right?
And I think it's whenever you don't know what to do,
Yeah.
the best strategy is to still do something. And I think this is what you do. But I ask you, how do you measure it? Because this is very important. You're doing, who's your audience? You know it? What do they want? How do you give them what they want? And then you see, does it work or not?
Yeah.
Because if they like white t-shirt, you keep white t-shirt. If they give you more messages for having whiskey on the table, like, you keep the whiskey. But
Yeah,
you
but
need
you
to
need
have
to-
a measure.
You need to preserve a certain amount of identity, if you know what I mean. Like, you might not initially have your audience. You might not initially attract the people you think. Like, you need to preserve who you are as a person. You will piss a lot of people off, and that's fine.
Yeah, but what's your goal?
My goal is
To piss somebody off, or to give something?
that could also be a goal. There's no such thing as bad marketing, right?
It's a good goal.
Yeah, so
but at least I know how to measure your success. The
No, but-
amount of hate comments,
I mean, you could make it any way you see fit. I guess what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to speak more to people, learn from people. Like, it's an incredible opportunity. Just the fact that you and I are speaking,
Mhm.
meeting for the first time, I am learning a lot of things on my own, right? As long as you allow enough room for the conversation to happen, and if you shut the fuck up for some time instead of just speaking, you might actually learn something in the process. Because when
But
you
then
speak,
it's good. You just put a unit of measurement. Learning.
Yeah.
That's what you don't care about any visitors. You're doing for yourself to learn, right? And then learn what? And then the measure of the success after this interview, the amount of notes you made, for example. But then if you wanted to learn about politics, agriculture, economy, is this the most efficient way to learn whatever you want? Or it would be faster to watch a YouTube video or read a book. You see? So this is just a tool. Whatever you do is just a
but
tool
what,
to
what
feed.
do you do with the knowledge? Like, you could play a game in your fucking couch or
Yeah.
on your chair. You could do it solo, or you could stream how you play the game.
Yeah, but for what?
Would you say that it's educational the way you play the game? It could be educational. It could be fun. It could be entertainment. It could be all of it together. So I would argue it's the case here. Yeah, it's not the most efficient way to learn about politics, to learn about agriculture, to learn about IT, software engineering, and whatnot. But is it fun, engaging, entertaining? You make connections, you learn stuff in the process. Of course, all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But is there other things more fun than this?
I mean, depends how you define fun.
Yeah. So this is what I'm trying to say. And the biggest problem, if you don't know where you're going, any road is taking you there.
Yeah.
and trying but measure things somehow. I don't know, put something because when you measure everything, this is a tool
Yeah.
for doing something, and it's irrational to spend money and time. It's irrational, but you're still doing it, so something is driving you. Whenever you realize what's driving you, man, you learn how to feed it much more efficiently, much more faster, in a bigger scale. And it cannot be YouTube, it can be, I don't know, music, dancing, I don't know, sports.
No, that's a fair point. Like,
But self-discovery takes a lifetime, but it's about trial and error. So you tried YouTube. All right, how do we do it? Hypothesis. I do 10 videos. How do I measure success? Amount of comments. Bad ones. When I do TikTok, fuck
I
YouTube.
think, at least from my short experience with trying things, I think success is only a matter of time, and it's a numbers game.
Okay.
So you throw it your luck enough times at anything, whether it's a business you have no fucking idea, you like a coffee shop, I don't know. Like, I have the impression that no matter what I would want to try in this life, you throw your luck at it enough times, you will eventually get it.
Yes, and
Yeah.
your job and mastery is to increase the odds.
Yeah.
And you increase the odds by first knowing what's the destination.
Yeah.
Second, finding somebody who has been there.
No, that's a fair point.
Yeah.
I do agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're just throwing, and
Yeah,
you
it's
might
not-
get there, but it will take you 10
No,
times
yeah,
longer than
that's true, because you don't have a lot of time. Like, you have only a few thousand weeks.
we are 30, man.
Only a few
30, man.
only a few thousand. Like, when I wake up every single day, I'm like people think they have time.
Yeah.
And when I wake up and I realize I'm 30 and I haven't yet achieved what I want to, I'm like, fuck, I'm moving slow.
Yeah. Welcome to the club, my friend.
Yeah.
And I need to tell you, everybody is feeling this way.
No, but it's important to have this feeling of urgency. Because like, I really love this example with, like, I think it was Elon Musk who gave it, or whatever. But he was like, if you plan on cleaning your house in 1 hour, or you plan on cleaning it in 10 days,
It's gonna take exactly
most
the-
probably you will fail to clean it in 1 hour. But at least the urgency of you trying to do that in 1 hour will get you a bigger result,
Yeah,
bigger
absolutely.
output than you thinking, oh, I fucking have 10 days, I can do it. You might even end up not spending enough time, and as a result, not even managing to do it in 10 days. So the point is, like, this sense of urgency not only gets you further ahead, but also is critical in, like, business, for instance, right? Like, sometimes you just need to land there faster. You'll figure out how to do it once you do.
But then again, the point is, why do you need it in general? Why do you need it faster?
You can fucking have a 9 to 5. Like, the reason I'm doing anything that I'm doing is because I'm scared of dying in mediocrity.
Okay.
I don't
But what's
want
wrong with mediocrity, man?
There's nothing wrong. Personally, I find it wrong for me. I don't expect anyone to think like me, because if everyone, first of all, if things were easy in life, everyone would do it, because we're incentivized and our brain is accustomed to picking easy, because easy equals dopamine. We want to do more of that stuff, right? So I don't expect life for me to be easy, and at the same time, I don't expect everyone to think like me, right? So for me personally, if you live in mediocrity,
But
there's
what's
a-
mediocrity for you? Can I ask?
mediocrity is anything that
How do you measure mediocrity?
I would define mediocrity as normal. Like, whenever you hear people just be normal, why aren't you normal? Why don't you spend your weekends?
But in terms of what normal?
In terms of let's call anything that elevates your status. If you can have a higher status in society, uh, in general, anything that gives you a higher status is above the mediocrity threshold.
So if you
So
have
that means
10,000 followers,
if you have more money, more influence, more respect in your I don't know, community/society, that means you have more status. In order to get there, it requires a lot of effort from your side. It requires you to study something to be a leader in a certain area. It requires you to work a lot, to make a lot of sales, to understand business, to understand a lot of concepts, to basically become somebody, right? And this mediocrity, the reason I criticize it is because it's very much affecting men, right? As a man, you have this burden of performance, right? You need to perform. If you don't perform, you will suffer in life.
yeah.
And
But
life
who's watching?
and-
Like, is the
and
question.
life-
To perform for
y-
whom?
you perform for the benefits and the perks you want to get. So you want to get
So
the
what are the
beautiful.
perks?
let me give you an example. You
Yeah,
want, for example, to have access to certain, I don't know, women,
yeah,
and those women have certain standards. I want a guy who's tall, who's this, who's that, who's that. If you don't rise to the
yeah.
occasion, you're gonna be left behind. Nobody gives a shit, right? So in that sense, you need to perform. And a way to perform is to not be mediocre. So that means
But you can pay for it.
you need to elevate your status. You can't pay for your body. You need to go fucking hit the gym.
Yeah, but you can pay for the woman.
You can pay for what?
For the woman. Like if this
No,
is the
but we're talking
measurement.
about a woman who admires, respects, and loves you, right?
Uh,
We're talking about genuine stuff. If you're talking about you can pay things left and right, first of all, you're fucking broke. You can't pay for that shit.
okay.
You need that alone. The fact that you're broke already speaks mediocrity. So you need to get the fuck out of your house, pick your balls, and start doing something, right?
But
And
look,
this
I'll give you
gets you
some
out of the.
questions, man, because I love it and I think I've been there, so it's my time to interview you.
Yep, go ahead. Go
Uh,
ahead.
Like, if you are famous and
Yeah.
broke, is it mediocrity?
If you're famous and broke.
Everybody knows about you. You're a superstar. You have 1 million followers.
Well, there's
online,
this concept of
but you don't have money to pay the bills.
there's
It just
this
happened.
there's this concept of fake it until you make it.
Yeah.
And
The followers are
I
genuine.
would say in rare cases you can be famous and broke. Especially nowadays. Like nowadays we live in a attention based economy.
Yeah.
What that means is the more attention / eyeballs you have, the more you can garner and turn that attention into some kind of money. You can monetize that, right? You can do marketing, you can do like promotions, affiliate marketing, you could sell products,
Yeah.
you could recommend shit. Like there's numerous ways of doing that, right? So if you hold any kind of attention, I would if I would not even consider you mediocre, I would consider you stupid of not of not utilizing your advantage,
All
because
right.
it's a privilege, it's an advantage, right?
Yeah.
This
But
is like
if you are rich and nobody knows about it,
that's a good position to be in. I would say most famous people want.
so you would love this. I mean, just an exercise. How do you feel about it?
I would say most famous people want the richness without the fame.
So you would feel more comfortable than having followers but being broke.
I guess it depends what appeals to you, right?
Yeah, that's why I'm asking you.
There are some people that like
No, you.
you ask me in particular.
Yeah.
Um
Rich, but nobody knows about you.
Again, I don't think richness is necessarily like it depends what you want to do in life, right?
Yeah, that's why I'm asking you, man.
So for me,
give me an answer.
for me, as for any man, I want the respect of my peers, right? That
Oh, okay.
so anything that, like, if you take any man out there, including myself, anything that will elevate your status and get you more respect from your peers is something we want, right? You want respect from your wife, you want respect from your peers in the same industry, like your business partners and
Yeah.
whatnot. You want respect from anyone out there. Like you walk on the street, people see you, they greet you, right?
Yeah.
That's respect. That's what I personally want, and I think a lot of men want that.
That's a
So
good point.
how do you get there, right? Let's pretend you're this rich billionaire and
Yeah.
nobody knows about him. First of all, we live in a world where it's impossible for you to be a billionaire and people not knowing about you, right? Like in most cases, people would know shit about you. But let's pretend you're not. Like, would it be more? And I guess this is personal to everyone. Would it be fair to say, like, the only instance I would say you want to be a billionaire and people not know about you is if you want to keep it safe, right? Because the more shit you have, the more you need to be secretive and protective about that, right? Because you have more enemies as a result. You can't get to that position without making a lot of enemies.
Why?
Like if you
So
take,
why did you decide
if
it's true?
you genuinely, I think if you genuinely become somebody with influence, power, or money, it's impossible for you to not make enemies, because to get there it takes a certain amount of risk, not even risk, a certain amount of skills which inevitably will piss people off. Like you will make enemies, and the other saying which I abide by is you will never truly be able to be somebody, or I would even put it this way, you don't stand for anything if you haven't pissed some people off, right? Like if you have an opinion about something,
Mhm.
politics, economics, I don't know, government, you having that opinion will inevitably put other people on the defense.
But you see what I hear? This is just my personal perspective. I
Yeah.
think you're mixing up because having power, having money, and maybe influence or status, they're so different. And these are different goals, but you're putting them as one.
They
But
are
to
as one.
achieve each of them, you require different set of skills. And let me give you an example. For example, you said you want to respect, which is very good. You said your peers, but your children are not your peers. Your wife is not your peers. Maybe in your industry, for the same man, good. My question is, if you save people's lives,
Yeah, but it's respect.
you'll get respect.
It's respect across the board.
Yeah,
Whether
if you save people's life, would you get respect?
if you save people's life, like define what would be the scenario?
I don't know, somebody's dying and you're doing a surgery.
Okay, in that
You
case,
get respect, but
in
I'm
that
asking
case,
you.
I'm not searching for the respect from the people. I will obviously get the thank you and the respect from them, but in that case, I would say I'm rather looking for the respect from my peers, from my doctors.
All right.
Other doctors will acknowledge the fact that I'm a good surgeon.
Yeah, so that's good.
Yeah.
So that's good. We removed the women from the equation.
No, but
you want to respect from another man. Am I right?
No,
if you go to the gym,
the point is like respect as a global thing, right?
Yeah.
Whether that's your children respect you because you're a good father, your woman respects you because you're a good husband, your peers respect you because.
But these are three different things, man. That's the issue. You're putting them all together.
But
Like to be a good father, to be a good husband, and be a good partner, like in job, businessman. Three different things, man.
I definitely agree. That's why I think as a man in today's society, you need to be well-rounded in every aspect. Like if you're just a good husband, but if you're broke, eventually your broke ass is gonna get left alone, right? Like there's like you need to be good, like or if you're
good? Like,
if you're kind, if you I don't know are a very good specialist, but you're extremely fat, at some point life is gonna hit you in the face.
Why? There are so many fat people, man.
What I'm saying is you will have stuff to lose as a result of that. And what I'm trying to say is you need to be well-rounded. Like you can't just be good in one aspect of life. You need to be good across the board.
And how good?
And the more skills you acquired, the more you take care of your health, your body, your mind, and whatnot, the more it contributes to that.
But how rich? How good?
Well,
whenever you don't have the numbers, it's very hard to live.
I think that's unique to everyone, right?
Yeah.
Like I said, there's nothing wrong with having like a 9 to 5. Yeah. If you have a 9 to 5 and your wife respects you and your kids respect you,
you make shitloads of money. Like
no, but even if you don't make shitloads of money, if you have like if you take any men out there, what they want is really respect from their wife and kids. And life's good, right? Life's good. You don't need to make a lot of money. You don't need to be a billionaire. Like this is the shit that you see on Instagram.
And this is mediocrity?
I wouldn't say this is mediocrity. I would say it depends how you define mediocrity, right? For some people consider themselves poor if they make, I don't know, a grand a month. Other people consider themselves poor when they make 100 million a month. Like the scale is different for each and everyone, right? But what I'm saying is to most men, it comes down to respect, right? So if you manage to achieve the respect you want at your small or big scale, it doesn't matter. You're a happy man, right?
Okay.
So you do you. I'm not saying it's wrong to have one or the other. I'm just saying for me it's different because again, you live in this attention-based economy, Instagram world, and perception is to some extent viewed as something more valuable than the actual result. So you see a lot of fucking experts and shit, when in reality, a lot of those people are sad, depressed, fucking living paycheck to paycheck. Maybe they have loans. Like you don't know about their like the fact that they put this lifestyle out there doesn't mean that it's actually happening.
So that was my question to you. Would you love to be famous, have followers, but be broke? You said it's impossible.
I would say nowadays you'd have to be stupid to be in this position. It's like saying I'm a smart retard. Doesn't make sense. Like you're either smart or you're retard.
Okay.
Yeah. It like one is the consequence of the other. Is my point.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah. So yeah, I would say the same. I love the conversation. It's
like this is an interesting topic because I think it's unfortunate, but the majority of people have no fucking idea what they're doing in this world.
No, that's
this is a discovery of a lifetime.
Especially when you're 30, it's like
you start getting these questions.
Like you do a good enough job, right? You become a specialist, maybe you're pretty good at 9 to 5 and whatnot. But at the same time, it's like, am I doing enough? If you know what I mean? Like, am I even supposed to be here? Yeah. Maybe I'm supposed to be somewhere else, but then I have to start from scratch. Then I have to, like, the risk is high. It's like moving to another country. Do I want to move there? I need to spend like 10 years of my life to get accustomed to the culture, the language, the country, the laws, become a citizen, all that shit. You're like doing the math. No, fuck that.
But when it comes to the purpose, like I really like these conversations of, what's the point of us being here? And my interpretation is to be happy.
I would beg to
This is
differ.
how I see it.
I think for a woman, yes, maybe happiness is the ultimate goal.
Okay.
And there's even a saying that a woman will sacrifice anything for her happiness,
Hmm.
and man will sacrifice anything, including his happiness, for the family, for the respect, right? So I would say the ultimate goal of a man is not happiness. If you take the life journey of any successful man, it's a lot of pain. I wouldn't say it's happiness. Like happiness is
They might enjoy
like if
this
you take
pain.
if you
Going to the gym is also painful, but you enjoy it.
yeah, but you're
Pain
again
is not suffering. That's what I'm saying.
yeah, but
Pain is not
is
equal to
is the
suffering.
ultimate goal happiness though? Is the
I think so.
question.
Like mine, yeah, I think so.
Yeah, but when you
Peace.
like what I'm the way I'm looking at it is the moment you think like happiness is a mirage for me personally, right? You think if you have that car, it'll make you happy. The moment you have that car, it's like whatever.
Yeah, because you put happiness, you define happiness in the car.
No, but that's my point. You might define happiness. Happiness is a constantly variable temporary location, right?
Hmm.
You think happiness is there. You reach that point. Oh, fuck that. Happiness is no longer there. You put another target on happiness. Is
But this is
this?
how you define it. It's not how I define it.
Yeah, but how you define it today is going to be different from how you define it once you reach that point.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
my
So
point.
now, are you happy? Like, that's the question.
I
Actually,
like how Eminem answered that. Like he was asked, "Are you happy?" He was like, "No." Are you happy when you're not happy? Yes.
yeah, yeah, yeah. There
Yeah,
is a very interesting thing. Like, I started journaling, and I've been reading about it a long time ago, but
that's a good
I
practice,
just
I'd say.
started,
Yeah.
and from January this year, it's a recent practice. I've been journaling for maybe a couple of months, but I promised myself I'm not gonna skip a day. And at the end, there is a special app that you can put how you feel,
Yeah.
and from pleasant, slightly unpleasant, very happy, and stuff like that. And then it asks you how you feel. It's joy, peace, gratefulness, or amusement, whatever. And then it asks you what made you feel that. Friends, tasks, money, friendship, whatever. And you put these things. And what's going on later, you see a pattern, and you understand that you were, I don't know, during 1 year, you were 72% happy. Can I define myself as a 72% happy person?
Yeah, like
And then I can see why.
the
I
reason I
saw that when I had friends and, I don't know, community, I see I was happy. When some tasks or money related, I was unhappy. So I know what makes you happy, like what makes me happy, because it's going to be different to you.
yeah, but the reason I don't base myself in happiness is because happiness is an emotion. And if you base your life on emotions, it's not sustainable and not like it's in some kind of a way it's a weakness, right? So if you base your decisions and lifelong process on you strictly being happy, then what that means is you won't be able to perform exactly the same or at all if you're not happy, right? So so that kills, like, if you take any, let's say, successful man, they
Hmm.
did shit when they weren't happy, but
Hmm.
they did it because they had discipline and grit. So happiness, it's like motivation for me. Like not every single time you'll be motivated to go to the gym, for instance, right? But if you have to fucking go to the gym and you give yourself no option but to go to the gym, then what ends up happening is a beautiful process. You go to the gym, you do the job, you put a check mark, you're happy, you're not mediocre that day. Maybe that makes you happy, maybe not. It doesn't matter. But
Hmm.
you did what had to be done. And if you base your life on you have to do what you have to do and you do it, instead of you do it when you're happy, when motivated, then the outcomes will be extremely different. Like if you do things every single time and you show up every single time, you're going to have a way more consistent result and output versus you do things only when you're happy or based on what makes you happy. That's why I don't base myself, like, happiness is like, I kind of gave up on it a little bit. Like,
Okay.
yeah, of course
You
I'm
got disappointed somewhere in
not that
life.
I'm disappointed, but more like I think of it like porn, right? Like it's like fake dopamine. Yes, something might temporarily make you happy.
I see.
Does it mean you're gonna be happy forever? No, it
Yeah, but I
means
mean, if I'm happy 63% during a year,
I guess if it makes you more productive that way.
if I'm more happy than unhappy, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, like, you can't depend on an emotion, which whether happens, whether doesn't happen. Like, if I don't depend on happiness
Mhm.
and I am able to be productive at all times, whether I'm happy or not, I will outcompete you every fucking time. If you
If your task is
if
to
you're only
outcompete
if
me.
you're only dependent on happiness and your performance is dependent on that.
Yeah, but my final destination is happiness, but not yours. So you say outperform means you have a different
Is it though? Is
destination.
it though? Because
So outperform in what? In happiness? You cannot outperform me in
no,
happiness.
outperform anything that you put as a target, right? So
Yeah, but my target is happiness.
if the target is you want to have a beautiful body, I will outperform you
I
if
agree, but my target is happiness.
your target
I'm
is
happy
happiness.
being fucking lazy
Yeah,
and
but
fat.
that's subjective. It's like saying
But me, yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. I am happy.
no, but that's
Subjective, yeah, because
it's
it's
not
mine.
measurable. Like, define happiness.
I
Can you say
feel
I'm not happy?
state, emotion.
Can you say I'm not happy now?
I mean,
That's my point.
but it's
Yeah.
as like we're saying what makes me happy doesn't make you happy.
No,
So,
but
but my state is
but I
happiness.
wouldn't be able to tell whether you're happy or not. But you will always be able to tell whether I have a good body in a good shape or not.
Okay, but
So
do I
so
need
the two
somebody
are
to
not
tell me?
measurable.
But do
Yeah.
I need somebody to measure my happiness?
I guess not. Like, it depends what you try to achieve.
Happiness.
Like if you want to be a happy man, there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, if that is the fuel which requires you to burn in order to get to a destination, it's the wrong kind of fuel.
I agree because
Yeah.
the destination are different. My
Yeah.
destination is
Yeah.
happiness. You know, I love this conversation, man, because
But the other problem is you need to burn some other kind of fuel in order to get to that happiness destination, right?
why?
Let's take, for instance, I don't know, marriage, right? Why do you think so many divorces happen?
They're not happy.
They're not happy,
Mhm.
right? But that happiness one day is one thing, the other day is another thing.
Yeah, because marriage is one tool to become happy.
And in the pursuit of that happiness, people sacrifice families, kids which grow up without a father. Like, can you say the woman in the end who divorced was happy? Perhaps. Is it better overall for the kid, for the family, for the society? Probably not. So, in that case, happiness was the pursuit. Was the result fruitful or beneficial for the greater good, greater society? I
Yeah,
would
but
say
maybe
not.
the strategy was not the right one.
Yeah,
The
but I would
strategy was
say
that marriage
I
will
would
make
say
me happy.
even happiness as a destination is not necessarily benefiting the greater good,
So I
because
don't care, man. I'm
it's a
happy.
selfish
Yeah,
to an extent it's a
absolutely.
selfish destination.
Yeah.
And sometimes, especially as a man, you have to do things which kind of piss you off, but you kind of have to do them. And if happiness is the destination and the goal, then you wouldn't do it. For instance, you would, I don't know, what situation to give you, but if you were to have a situation where you could choose between I want to be happy versus I have to fucking do this even though it's gonna piss me off and not make me happy, if you choose to do the latter, maybe it's gonna benefit you in the long term. But if you choose to be happy now, you might suffer long term. So my point is, are you really happy if you've suffered long term, but you're happy now?
Yeah, because you're combining those two
Like,
things.
you could be happy now, but suffer for 10 years.
Yeah, I
For
understand.
instance, you're having sex with another girl, but you're married. You're happy now, you're having sex, right? But you fucked up your marriage, your kid is growing up without you. Can you say you weren't happy when you had sex? You were happy, but did it benefit you in the long run?
Yeah, but means
Yeah.
you are happy for one night and you are unhappy for the rest of your
No,
life.
but happiness was your pursuit, is my point. You were pursuing
Yeah.
happiness and you took any opportunity which came your way, including.
But these are tools. I
Yeah,
made
yeah.
a hypothesis that fucking a girl right now having a family is gonna
Yeah.
make me happy. This is like a hypothesis. I don't know.
No, but it
Made
would
me happy, but then didn't work
it
out.
would be
so-
appealing to any man, but any man would be like, okay, if I do that shit, probably I'm gonna fuck up, right? So I'll be happy now, without a doubt, but it's until the post nut clarity comes in and you realize you fucked up.
You know, it's interesting because if you talk about Buddhism,
Yeah.
like the happiness is in the moment, and it's a very interesting thing because you have to give up cravings.
I prefer Stoicism, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I like having this conversation because Buddhism appeals to me very much. I did a very interesting practice last year, which is called Vipassana. Did you hear about it?
No.
It's 10 days of silence, and you wake up every morning at 4 a.m. You meditate for 11 hours a day. You don't talk to anybody. You don't write. You don't read. You're isolated from anything. You don't touch anybody. Super crazy experience for 10 days in a row. You're barely eating. There is a special diet, and nothing is happening.
Yeah.
And basically, you're isolating from the noise. And on the third day, like it's silent, complete silence, man. You don't like, no input information is coming in. And then all the shit comes out. And it's interesting practice because at the end of the 10th day, I was so happy, man. I was genuinely happy without anybody, without anything. I was just by myself, alone. I was so fucking happy. It's just, I was happy to tears. Like nothing is happening, man. Nothing. I don't want anything. I don't need anybody. I'm just genuinely happy. And it was interesting because I came back and everybody was like, Dim, I hope you don't sell our business or something.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I didn't need it at all. Like I literally didn't need anything. All I wanted was just to come back home and hug my girl and, share the emotions. But what I wanted to say that is the main component is not craving. And actually, if you tried shrooms or LSD or stuff, when your ego dissolves, you don't need anything. You are part of everything and you're happy because that's why you love this feeling, of being under this substance. You're part of everything. You don't have an identity.
Yeah, but
You,
happiness is a drug, you could say.
I don't know.
And that's why I associated it with porn, because porn is a drug addiction
Yeah.
and it gives your brain this dopamine effect.
Mm.
And every single time you want to increase the dose, same with happiness. What makes you happy, like if a bottle of whiskey makes me happy today, a bottle of whiskey won't make me happy tomorrow. I'll have to fucking put a car as a target next time, and then a house, and then fucking influence and power and whatnot.
That means you're
Like-
craving something.
Like the dose is always going to increase, is the
if
problem.
you are craving.
It doesn't matter if you're craving. Like if you're,
No, because if you want something bigger,
yeah,
it's like a contract that I'm unhappy until I get it. Do you agree with that?
yes, but at the same time, like my point is, it's like a drug, right?
Yeah.
So if you depend on any kind of drugs, it's going to ultimately negatively affect your life.
Yeah. But if you are
Even
happy
if it's
without
something
anything,
good, like apparently.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Man, very interesting. I had a situation where I was humiliated by the car I have. I was not feeling secure because but I have a fucking good car, man.
Yeah.
But I see, especially in the night in Chisinau, you see very luxury cars and you see young fucking people driving it.
Yeah.
It's like, man, I'm not enough. And I was, thinking, man, I need a better car, like a more luxurious one. And then I went to my friend to Italy. And we've been walking. It was a very beautiful winery next to Treviso. I was having, Chianti wine. It was amazing. Man, and everybody's driving an old Fiat or some shit, or Cinquecento, something like. And I was like, damn, man, I feel so good. I feel so peaceful. And I don't care what car I'm driving. I'm not even driving a car. Like everybody's.
Oh, but I would say that's reckless. Like if you take cars and people flexing with cars, yes, you can flex with a car. But if you take Moldova, for instance, and this fucking pride we have, and if you take like BMWs, Porsches, and whatnot, you see people selling everything and just trying to do anything to get that. And again, going back to why, like the motive is status and respect.
Mhm.
When people see them having that shit, it speaks about them and their status and whatnot.
Absolutely.
Most of them don't even buy that shit because they like it.
Yeah.
They know it's respected for you to have a BMW or whatever. That's why they fucking buy it in the first place. And the problem with validation like that is you live for the validation, and validation is another
It's
drug.
external. It doesn't depend on you. Somebody
It's
has
another
to
drug
validate
and it's even worse than happiness, because you buy
you.
shit.
Worse than happiness.
You work a job which you don't like, to buy shit you don't care about, to impress people who don't give a fuck about you. And if you base your entire life on that, that's even more sad. I would say I'm sorry for you, right? Like if
Yeah.
I have a 9 to 5 job and I'm happy and I don't need to impress nobody, and I see you trying to flex with that, I would say I'm sorry for you. Unless that car is like 0.1% of your budget, monthly budget, or income, then I can understand that. That's nothing to you. But when you spend your entire life and you take a loan just to buy that car to impress people don't care about you. Yeah, I don't know the motive.
But have you ever bought some expensive stuff for yourself and you feel happy?
Yeah, like all the gear that I have in the house.
Yeah. So
The
like it's
servers
not,
and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. So it's not only about status.
But again,
Sometimes you buy because you feel like, man, I deserve it and I fucking like it. Every time I'm driving this car, I feel, yeah, yeah,
no,
I like
definitely you
it.
need to. I think there
Most
has.
of you then probably driven by status. I
I
agree, but
think there's a certain dose, I would say, healthy dose of like selfishness,
yeah.
and like same thing with like self-love, right? A lot of people speak about you need to love yourself, accept yourself, and then you can love somebody else, right? But that's, in a way, if you put it in that way, it sounds a bit selfish, right? But you need to have, I would say, a healthy amount of selfishness in order for you to achieve anything in life, right? Because if you don't believe in your goals, your dreams, yourself, how you look and whatnot, your confidence, it all comes down to confidence, especially as a man. Then who's gonna fucking believe in you? Who's gonna say you're good looking, you're successful, you wanna be successful, you wanna try hard? Like, how even trying hard if you don't believe you can get to that point? Like, I would say any kind of self convincing has to do with some kind of self ego and a little bit of selfishness. And yeah, it's healthy to have a little bit of it.
Hmm.
When you have too much of it, I would say it leans more towards arrogance, where you think you're the best. But obviously, like,
It's
yeah,
not the case.
the higher the pride and the stupidity, the harder the downfall, right? You have to be able to look within to recognize when, okay, I need to work on myself, versus, okay, I'm doing pretty good. I deserve it. I can do that. I can do this. Like, if you can do that, I would say you're in a good position where you could self-diagnose your own issues.
Hmm.
If you're not capable of at least saying you're an alcoholic from times to times, then you have a problem.
But if you think about it, yeah, you drink a lot every day.
No, I meant more
But
in
if you
like
like, you're not gonna live long,
I
but
meant
you
more
feel
in
happy, man. You
like
live like 35 years. You die at 35, but you lived in like for your like you've been happy.
again, you
Doesn't
do,
make sense.
again, you do you. What
Yeah,
makes you happy. I'm not gonna dispute that.
yeah.
But I would just say that everything ultimately relies on decisions, right? Decisions have consequences. So a lot of the times what tends to happen is a bit hard and tough decisions now will yield way better results later, and the other way around. If you make easy comfortable decisions now, a lot of the times tend to yield you a harder life later. Like, for instance, alcohol, drugs, I don't know, lust, like all those things which kind of seem easy, comfortable. Okay, I'm just gonna chill, I'm just gonna enjoy life now. They yield shitty results over time, in a lot of the cases even detrimental and lethal.
You know, there's a joke. It's about a homeless guy who lies behind the tree in the shadow and just sleeps. He's homeless, dirty, stinky. And there is like a business guy in a nice suit approaching him. He's like, man, why are you lying down? Like, go
I
work,
think I
do
know where you're
something.
leaning.
You
Yeah,
know the joke, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then the
To
homeless
buy the
guy,
island, to eat
yeah, and the homeless
bananas.
guy is
Yeah, yeah,
asking
yeah.
like, why you do this? To do that, that, that. So eventually, lay down, do nothing. And
Yeah, but
he's
the
like,
difference between me and the person is that person thinks differently. He thinks, I want destination. I think I love the process, and the destination is just the cherry on top of the cake.
"Mhm,
Like, I love working out. The fact that I will in the end have a beautiful body is just a cherry on top of the cake. Like, you
okay,
get this, okay, that's a nice bonus. But I love the process.
hmm
Whereas if you think of it, I hate the process, but I want to get to the result, then yeah, from that perspective, it makes sense. Why the fuck would I do something that I hate? It's not sustainable.
yeah." But you said you have to do sometimes things you don't like.
No, sometimes you have to do and you have to force yourself because, like, again, men live this burden of performance and you need to perform. But what I'm saying is, you don't have to if you don't want to. But like I said previously, there will be consequences.
Mm,
You'll be hit with the consequences sooner or later. And like, if you're happy with the consequences, then you do you.
mm.
I personally can't base myself in mediocrity, and if I can get the fuck out of it, then I'll do my best to do that, basically. Yeah. Yeah, like, why would you want a beautiful six abs body, right? why would you go through all the pain to lose the weight, to cut the body, to make
Mm-hmm.
sure you keep it that way? Because it's not easy to keep it that way.
Yeah.
Only to get a fucking girl, right? Like, why would you do that?
You'd
Like,
overpay.
you
It's
can
cheaper, man.
eat chips, Cheetos, play games, drink wine, like have parties over the weekend. Like, you could do that. I'm not saying you can't, but the question is it going to yield a better life for you long term? And
Mm-hmm.
if you look within and you say you want a different life, then you do different actions. There's another saying which I really really like is everyone is exactly what they want to be in
Mm-hmm.
life. Meaning, if you're a fat guy living a mediocre life, most likely you want that life. Because if you wanted to be an entrepreneur and you loved the lifestyle of an entrepreneur and always hustling, always doing this, always on the move, you would have done that.
Yeah,
Probably you
but I
don't
think
like to put in the effort, and that's fine.
I think the problem is a bit. You're right, but most of the times it's subconscious. It's like I want to do better, but subconsciously I'm not doing it. And uh, there is a very nice tool I discovered for myself. It's a neurological. It's called Dill's pyramid. It's a neurological explanation of change, how change happens,
You need to program your mind. I
and
do
it's
agree.
very interesting. I can maybe briefly tell you. So basically, there is a pyramid, and on the lower level at the base, basically it's your environment, whatever is happening and things you don't like. For example, you are fat or you have no money.
Yeah.
And then there is a top layer which says that it's an action layer, means consciously or subconsciously you have the life because of the regular actions you do.
Yeah.
Like you are fat because you eat a lot, you don't move a lot, you know? And then there is another layer, it's a skills layer, which says you are doing the actions which are bringing you to the lower consequences because you have the skills to do. You can do this. For example, I'm fat because I don't move a lot because I'm programming. So I
Yeah.
have the skill of programming. That's why you know how it's related.
No, I do agree. There's a feedback loop. Like,
Yeah,
so
and
the
the
negative
psychologists work.
consequences feed you into doing the negative things again, basically. But what I'm saying is, you can, like, a lot of people don't realize that the brain is just like any other app. You can program it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and people don't make use of that a lot.
But the program cannot reprogram itself, man.
It takes a lot of practice and
You need
effort.
somebody else to reprogram you.
Yeah, it takes a lot of practice and effort. I'm not gonna lie. Like, if you just try to change, let's, like, you take the most simple situation. Like, how do you react when a situation happens? Maybe you're like more the passive guy. Maybe you're extremely aggressive and assertive
No,
guy.
it's usually three types. You know, it's fight.
Try to change just that aspect of your life. You'll see how hard it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's an
So
instinct.
I'm not saying it's impossible, but yeah, definitely it's hard. So, but it's definitely reprogrammable. So I mean, I tried changing a few habits in my life, and like I read don't know if you heard of Atomic Habits
Of
or not.
course, man.
Really
Yeah.
good shit.
Yeah.
So basically, like, you going back to the environment thing, right? Basically, just try to analyze your life and environment and see what exactly is incentivizing you
Yeah.
into doing those bad behaviors.
Yeah.
If you just make it hard for those things to show up your way, then by nature, almost automatically, you're incentivized to do the good things.
Yeah.
And if you add in a little bit of sprinkle and reward, like every single time you do the good thing, you get a reward, then
You're done.
you're done.
You're
That's the
programmed.
solution for change, basically, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting. Like it's very interesting to see the how you know the animals in us. It's so easy to
Yeah, the
manipulate.
truth is, a lot of people don't truly believe their own thoughts. A lot of people believe what they heard, what they were told, what their elders instilled in them, teachers, parents,
Hmm.
maybe idols, and you think you do something because you truly abide and believe
Hmm.
that that's what you need to do. But if you question every single aspect of your life, at some point you'll realize this is not my own conclusion.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I didn't come up
Absolutely.
with this conclusion by myself.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's a
This is
good,
about the environment you grew up into.
yeah, it's a good exercise we should, I would say, make more often. Just look within, see what you don't like about yourself, and try to come to the conclusion whether you decided that on your own or that's something which you've been doing ever since you basically started living on your own, because it kind of went that way, it's like the tree which starts to grow a certain way. It can be corrected, but it's going to take a little bit of effort. But you need to start with the root cause. Is that your own decision, or is that something which affected you in the long term?
But I agree, but the only thing I would add up is I think it has to be from external. Just get a professional. There are so many professions who can help fix stuff.
You mean psychologists?
Yeah. For some reason, it's not famous.
My problem with them is
Have you tried?
I have not tried because I've experienced that problem myself.
Or what
But
problem?
problem is, try to look for a psychologist that's not a woman in Moldova. It's gonna be hard. if
Man, you're on the line, man. You're touching so many.
if
What's wrong with women in Moldova, guys? Another hating point.
No, there's nothing wrong with women. It's a problem when, like, if I want to go look for advice.
Yeah.
Let's say I'm a fisherman, right?
Yeah.
If I want to catch more fish, would I go ask the fish how to catch more fish, or would I go ask a fisherman how to catch more fish?
I mean,
The problem is,
fisherman,
the
yeah.
problem with like me not finding men which are psychologists is because I genuinely believe we live two different realities as men and women.
Okay.
As a result, we face different kind of issues, and I don't think that me going to a woman that's a psychologist will be able to help me solve my problems in the exact same way a man would.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get your point.
In that sense,
I totally disagree with it, but I get your point.
Yeah, in that sense, I don't think she'll be able to relate to my problems. And what ends up happening is she's gonna do one of the two things. Either she's gonna validate my shitty reality, which I want to change, because she can't otherwise, because she's not familiar with my problems, or two, she's gonna demonize them.
Okay.
So I don't want any of them. I want somebody who
Or
helps.
she's gonna solve them. Why are you missing? There is a small chance she can solve it.
There is a small chance, but what I'm trying to say is we live in generalities. Like when you walk into a bus, you're not gonna see the majority of seats for invalids. You're gonna see only a few of them, a fraction.
Yeah.
Like you live in a generality world. So if I were to pick randomly a psychologist that is a woman, probably she will not be able to handle some of my problems, is my saying.
I agree.
Yeah.
But maybe try.
At the moment I feel quite confident. Don't think, I piss a lot of people off by who I am, how I am, and whatever, but I'm fine with that, right? I'm fine with the idea of, okay, I have some shit to work on. At the same time, do I want to spend time, money, and energy on something which is not solving? I don't even know what the fucking problem is.
On something that can potentially make you a better human being.
Yeah, but what is better human being? Is better human being more, I don't know, more pussified, more indulgent? Like, define that.
Yeah, I'll tell you. It's very easy, actually. You want to be here. Now you're here.
What if I don't want to be anywhere?
All right. But then you're lost, probably.
Why am I lost if I don't want to? If I'm happy, as
but
you
said no. Wait, if you are happy, of course you should not touch it. But
let's say I'm a dick.
Something.
Let's say I'm a dickhead.
Yeah.
Genuine dickhead to most people. Yeah. I say wild shit which pisses people off, and I'm happy with that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's fine.
No, but
the thing is, if you are looking for ways or for tools or for expertise to bring you faster to wherever you want to be, then I would try everything. Like, it makes sense.
I genuinely believe that you can't please everyone, right? If you're trying to be a kiss-asser and please everyone, you're going to end up in a identity crisis position.
Yeah, I think we're talking about different things. If you want to get $1 million or whatever, if you want to learn how to swim, you probably find a coach. And yeah, it can be a bad coach first time. He might be interested in profiting from you, keeping you on subscription, but you just keep trying one-on-one until you find somebody who is genuinely interested in helping you, and then you learn how to swim. It's same here. If you want to be at destination B,
but now you're at destination. What's the destination if you take psychologists?
You define. It's psychologist is just a tool to help you get to your destination you want.
Like if I want to be a better communicator, I can take courses on linguistics.
One way to do this, or hire somebody who is a public speaker, or practice yourself. So you have many tools.
Like, why would I go to a psychologist and share my personal stuff unless, I don't know, like I think there's something manly about you not going to the psychologist.
I understand. Yeah, and that's the shit I was going through. That's why I'm trying to to talk
And
to you about it. And
yeah,
look, what's the thing? If I want X, I want $1 million, and I have 100. There is something I don't know, right? Otherwise, if I knew, I would have had what I want.
yeah, yeah.
Now, I understand there is something I don't know, definitely, because I don't have it. So, what are the tools that can help me get there? And there is something there because I'm very skillful, I'm smart, I'm good looking, whatever. I'm well positioned, I'm well connected, but there is something I'm missing. So I need to try stuff. I need to look for right experts. It can be internal. I'm not talking about psychologists. I'm just a propagandist of getting help.
No,
Any type of help,
getting
just
help,
getting it.
definitely agree. If we're talking psychologist in particular,
Yeah.
I'd say you need to be a fucking man about that aspect of your life in particular, because you need to be able to build yourself, to solve your own shit. And part of being able to build yourself is realizing there is a problem. I understand that there are people that need help in that sense. Like there are people that need pushing.
Yeah.
Just like when you go to the gym, there are people that can't go to the gym unless they have a trainer. I am of the position that if you have discipline and you don't like it in that department, then you can change anything. Like
Mhm.
you can't control anything in this world except for one thing, which is your mind. If you are able to control your mind, you genuinely can change anything,
Mhm.
including how you behave, who you are, where do you want to be, and everything like that. So, you going to the psychologist is your ability to tell yourself you're not capable of controlling your
No, of
mind on
course
your
no.
own.
No, you are
And you
defining
need
it
some
like that.
help from another person to help you understand who you are and be able to do that.
I see.
I am in the position where I think I am able to already do that, and I don't think I need it. Does it mean that I'm, let's say, in the process I will probably become a better communicator, better interactions with people? Probably. Will that in the process sacrifice a little bit of my personality? Perhaps. Do I want to change that? Probably not. So it I guess if you need a little bit of help, there's nothing wrong with asking for help. So if you need a person, but again, the help has to be genuine. But when you're in desperation, when
Mhm.
shit hits the fan in your life, you most likely are in desperation. And when you are in desperation, there's a lot of sharks which want to take advantage of that. And the worst thing you can possibly do is go to a psychologist and fuck up your life even more and go on
Or
antidepressants
fix it, man. Come on.
or fix it.
It's like 50-50.
But again, I'm jumping with the parachute,
Yeah.
and the guy tells me at the top, look, it's going to work in 10% of the cases. You want to take the risk and jump?
Why did you jump?
That's my
Starting with.
point. You live in a generality world, right?
Uh-huh.
So in general, let's say it works in 10% of the cases. If it
Yeah.
doesn't work and I fucking take the risk and it's not going to work, then I fucked up eventually, right? So
But
it's
it's
the
the
same
same with the
here.
doctor. If you change the term, if you're feeling bad and you're telling me I'm not going to the doctor because there is 10%
Problem
that can
is I
help
don't
me.
treat that as a doctor, right? A lot
Yeah.
of like we were pushed into this direction that look, you have mental problems, you need a psychologist, right? I don't truly think this is a like medicine type of thing. Like
It's
I would
definitely not.
I would say it is not okay if you have a problem, let's say with your teeth or whatever all other health issues you have. You need to approach a doctor, definitely. When it comes to your mental issues, it depends what we're describing as mental issues, right? If you're truly mentally ill and you need medication, then I wouldn't say a psychologist would help either way. If you're just confused, if you're just having
Hmm.
issues in your life, I would say you just need to stop running for a while and just look within.
Yeah.
If you can do that on your own, then it's fine. You can call for help.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is I don't lack the discipline and I can do that. And if I can do that, I genuinely believe you can change anything you want.
I agree. But also, there are known unknowns. You know what you don't know.
Yeah.
And there are unknown unknowns. You have no idea you don't know.
No, that's
And
true.
it's
That's
it's
true.
it's something that somebody you need an external valid input to bring that up.
Yeah, but how do you filter the bullshit? Like
You
I,
try stuff. I mean,
again, my problem with all these experts nowadays is everyone tries to make a living. Like everyone tries to sell any shit out there.
absolutely. And you know about it.
And I know that
Yeah.
it's bullshit because I know what they're selling is bullshit and perception. And I already can see through the victims. I already can see people applying for a webinar, how to become successful. And I see them fucking scammed, but they do it out of desperation. And my point is, you cannot ask for help when you're desperate.
But if I would
Because
recommend to somebody,
you risk being wrecked.
yeah, if I would recommend you an expert,
Yeah.
I don't know,
I'm
YouTuber.
I'm more than happy to talk off camera about psychologists. If
Okay.
you have a good recommendation.
Yeah, but I'm not in general. I think in Moldova, and you were right saying manly things, and I was exactly the same opinion. And then a friend of mine told me, like, you need to be a man to you need to have balls to ask for to become, how to say it,
Vulnerable.
Yeah,
I hear
it takes balls to become vulnerable, because
hear
we live
that,
in society
yeah.
when I'm not crying, men never cry, but it's not true. Like, you've gotta get rid of the shit. It's better to cry and go on rather than keep it in yourself and suffer because of it. So
I'm not saying you should suffer. Definitely,
Yeah.
if you suffer from that, then you should administer some help. But at the same time, you should, like, what I'm saying, you shouldn't lack the discipline to change your mind, right? It's just a mind. It's just a change of mind. It's a switch of mind, right?
I want to give you an example of kids. Like, you know what parents are doing to the kids? The best thing you can do is talk to your kids, because the kid is going through new experiences every time.
Yep.
And if the kid is not talking about it, he's taking it inside, and he might interpret the situation the way he understands it at that age. So it's important for parents to just talk about it. And this is about getting it can if you have something against psychologists, call him a buddy. Call your mom, your dad, or your brother, whatever.
Yeah.
But just talking about situations that are inside, man, it helps like crazy.
No, I definitely agree.
But when there is a professional who started to ask you the right questions, man, the efficiency of that 1 hour is just booming. Like, he's targeting and he knows what he's doing. And basically, the interesting part is, imagine a doctor who is doing only teeth. You have the issue with your tooth for the first time, but he has seen it. He sees it like 10 people a day like you. So for him, it's not something new. That's why the probability of him solving it is like,
I agree, but again, is how we define medicine and administer of health problems, right? So if you have a health issue and you genuinely believe it's a health issue, I agree. However, I don't view it as a health issue.
But because you don't realize it, but it might be a blocker.
And I look at when I say this, I look at the West. I look at the US. Like, if you take the transgenderism and the amount of people that do this transition, a lot of them suffer from this. What was the name of it? Like dysphoria or something.
Yeah.
Body dysphoria, when you don't feel like you belong to your own body.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So a lot of the times they will make the transition, and the transition will be dependent upon the psychologist who encouraged or discouraged that idea.
I agree.
So
it's fucked up.
So it's a business, right? Even like being a psychologist is a business, right? You're in the business of helping people embrace themselves, in other words.
Like a doctor.
So
like
if you
a
really
pope,
if you really are there to help, then kudos to you. I really appreciate that. My problem is a lot of you need to be very careful who you allow in your circle.
I agree, absolutely.
Yeah, and a lot of people will monetize that, will just use that for
absolutely.
Yeah. And
but it's the same with doctors, man. Think about it. Like, how do you find a doctor? You take reviews.
Again, we're going back to the basis. You base that as a health issue. I don't always.
No, it can be a teacher, man. A good teacher for your kid.
Yeah,
like, how do you find a good teacher for your kid?
Again, you are basing that not even health, but expertise, right? You think
absolutely.
You think that there is a person who has expertise in health, in, let's say, mental issues.
Not issues, just
my position is, if you do a good enough job to kick yourself in the ass and try a bit to change your life by yourself, you don't need that in the first place.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But the problem is that you don't see the system as a whole because you are inside the system.
Yeah, that's a fair point. That's a fair point.
Like, you cannot tickle yourself. You need somebody else to tickle you.
Yeah, like you can't tell you're in the box from within the box.
Yeah.
Is
that's the only thing. That's what I'm saying. It can be a body. It can be anyone from external. But if it's a professional. He can do it targeted and much more efficient. That's it. And
That's again, you're relying on the idea and the premise that they are genuine and they truly want to help people.
yeah, and how you judge if it's good or not, the way I feel. Very subjective. I
But you
feel good, good person.
no, I
I
would
feel bad, I don't like you.
yeah, but that's how are you able to tell that that has helped you or not? Like for instance,
Yeah.
let's take drug addicts, right?
Yeah.
There are let's say cities out there which would I don't know prohibit you to use drugs, and there are cities or countries out there which would promote and even legislate the use of drugs, right?
Yeah.
Is it like you could say that in the second case, because it makes you feel better because you're allowed to use them publicly, it's a good thing. If you like look at the bigger scale at the country level, for instance, you maybe realize it's not necessarily a good thing, because what you've done in the process is you've allowed
Yeah.
harder and stronger drugs on the market.
Yeah, but if I'm a drug addicted, for me it's a very good thing, right? For myself, I feel good.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean necessarily it's better overall, is my point.
For society, no, but for me it's good.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah.
but now you are like asking expertise for yourself, not for society.
Yeah, no, I mean, again, I would be more than happy to try.
Yeah,
My problem was, I guess, relatability and yeah, stuff like that.
I understand. But it's the same with drugs, man, with everything. Like, I do believe we are in a process of self-discovery our entire life. And we try different shit. Like all the possible, practice,
You
I don't know,
discover until you die.
anything like
Yeah.
substances, anything available. And I'm driven by curiosity. I want to discover the more I can about myself. And actually, there is a cool new
I mean,
thing.
there are like there's a saying which goes that there's some shit you don't have to try in order to know it's not good.
Yeah, some of
Yeah,
it, yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I guess you need to be driven by curiosity, but you also need to be mindful of potential cause and
Consequences.
effect
Yeah.
/ consequences, right?
But look, I'll tell you a new experience which I signed up for. In Moldova, we have like thing where you can live in darkness for several days. It's in the middle of a forest. It's
Wasn't
very,
aware.
yeah, it's very well equipped. Like it's not very famous, but it is there, and they take care of you. They give you food, everything. But the point is, you are in complete darkness and living there, and it's like a retreat because when you don't talk to people, you don't see anything. You go for a very interesting experience overall, and I'm fucking curious to try it, and I'm trying it, and when I tell about it to other people, they're like, "Are you out of your mind?" So what's interesting for me? It's like so scary for somebody else, and that's the point of finding your own tools for self-discovery. For somebody's drugs, for me it's I don't know something different. For somebody's traveling, for
No,
somebody's love music.
I am totally up for the fact you need to try out new shit, be
Yeah.
driven by curiosity, but specific like I don't know about you, but lately I've taken a very serious precaution when it comes to what I allow to enter my mind.
Hmm.
So that means if I can have a smaller circle, I can have higher quality people in my circle, then it means that I can potentially have a higher quality life because I have people in my ear which will only wish me the best. Same goes with the psychologist, like back to the
Yeah.
psychologist. Like if I allow a person to be in my ear 3 to 4 times a week,
Oh, it's too much, man.
potentially they
I
might
agree.
contribute to my life in a detrimental way. And I'm trying to avoid that. I guess it's yeah, whenever you're sunken, just call for help. At the same time, if you can handle that as a man, I would rather do that. But then if I were to find a man psychologist, I'm more than happy to try, man.
Racist, man. Smells like racism
No,
here.
I am a bit of according to the official comments from YouTube, I am a misogynist, but I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if like you can, I think everyone's racist to a certain degree.
Could be. But you
Yeah,
lived abroad, right?
no, everyone's racist and sexist to a certain degree because we live different lives. Like you can't say that your life is equal to a woman's life, right?
Hmm.
You just live and abide by different rules, different realities, right? And that's perfectly fine. I don't have a problem with that. My problem is when you try to equalize everything. That's
Hmm.
my fucking issue. Like don't try to equalize my life to somebody else's life.
Oh,
We
yeah,
we
absolutely.
we grew up differently. We have different lives. We abide by different
Backgrounds
rules.
and so on.
Exactly. So as long as what you do, like as long as you're happy with the current position you're in, you do you. I'm not gonna judge you, right? At the same time, if you're not happy with what you do, but you fucking critique others or just pinpoint, then it's a fucking problem. I don't care, Like I'll do anything to get the fuck out of mediocrity, and that means trying
Yeah.
out new stuff. At the same time, yes, I'm conservative towards certain areas. Like very careful what you put in your mind. It's very underestimated, I would say, because you just brain rot. Like let's take people that sit on TikTok. They don't realize how much shit they put in their head every fucking day.
Yeah.
If you were to use that time to read a quote, read like 10 pages from a book, and just not spend the time there, just fucking meditate or do something, right?
Hmm.
You could bring your life to a whole new level. And again, it goes back to what you allow to enter your mind, to break your space. And what enters your mind will eventually be the things and the shit that programs your mind. You will subconsciously believe that something is good or bad based on 10 years of you fucking scrolling Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree.
There was a lot of topics, and I kind of felt it was gonna go south, but I truly enjoyed the discussion.
Yeah, man.
And this calls for a V2. Yeah, we haven't talked. Can you believe we've spent almost 2 hours talking and we haven't said the word AI yet?
Interesting. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, I was gonna discuss to you about CityFarm, about I mean,
Hmm.
we talked about agriculture. Was gonna discuss AI, startups, and whatnot. But just so everyone knows, he's a really cool startupper, has an amazing company. I saw the video from like the bank, Maib, I think.
Yeah.
Saw the video, really cool shit. So I was like, fuck it, I'll just text him. He's not too proud of a guy to accept my invitation, I guess. And I was right. So yeah, I really enjoyed the discussion, and yeah, I think it's not the last one, definitely.
Thank you, man. Thanks
Yeah.
for having me.
Well, it's not like it's the end of it. I kind of, let's say, want to lean to a closing, and I typically tend to ask people a few more personal questions, but that's given the assumption that we're talking about technical subjects, and then
Hmm.
we dive into more personal. But still, I'm wondering, like we talked about happiness and whatnot. Like, is there anything you do outside of work? Maybe stuff that, let's say, brings meaning towards your life, towards what you're doing. We also talked about direction, how important it is to have a direction, to know where you're going, and to push and double down in that direction.
Hmm.
Is there anything you do outside of work, outside of what we call a must do?
I do a lot of things actually. I have my morning routine, which I love. I do a lot of sports. I travel a lot. I love traveling. I spend time with my family. We have a cat, and I play with her a lot. I visit my parents. We have different gatherings. I love live music, and we're having live music in 2 days. It's like inside the community.
I
We
should join the
have
community.
we have banya.
Yeah.
We have banya every Friday. I
Where do
love
you have
it.
Banya?
At Voloshin. Voloshin
Ah,
is
I
my
see.
friend, and we go
Didn't
there
it
every
didn't it
Friday.
burn?
Yeah, but one of them.
Yeah, yeah,
He has several.
yeah,
Very,
yeah.
very unique place in Moldova, I would say. I highly recommend to try. The experience is incredible.
I should join your community. Like you speak of it so highly, I'm like, fuck, I'm missing out.
It's very interesting because people are different. Like, and v- I see the difference when I talk to somebody else
Yeah,
because I told you we live in the same city but different worlds.
yeah,
And that's about people you're surrounded with. And when I go back home to my parents, they're telling me how bad things are in the country. Like, man, somebody lost the job, the taxes, some shit, politics. But I never hear about this because my surroundings, they don't manage to hire people. They have lack of talent. They need more people. You understand?
yeah,
It's
yeah.
like different world.
Yeah,
And
you if you like live in like if you always complain about problems, all you're gonna see problems. If you're always enthusiastic about opportunities, business, you see everybody's rich. Like for you, everyone's rich, everyone is looking for opportunities, and you're in the same. And it goes back to my saying, it very much is important. What's your circle, right? If you
absolutely.
surround just like you're the average of the most like the top 5 people you spend
Yeah,
the
that's
time
true.
with, right?
That's
So
true.
if you see everything as positive, impactful, opportunities here and there, most likely you are surrounded by the same amount of people, or not amount, the same kind of people, right?
But it also goes to the backward side. Like you see people suffering like you.
Yeah.
You see how hard it is, and you're not alone. This is very important.
Yeah, it's like you should be mindful of realities. I always go back to, like, we have to always anchor everything we do in reality, right? You can't say that hunger doesn't exist because me and my friends eat and we're doing well. Like, that would be stupid and retard to say that. At the same time, you can't always, be negative about things. You need to have a healthy degree of,
I
let's call
agree.
it let's call it hope.
Hmm.
Like if you don't hope for the better, if you don't like believe in humanity overall, then what are we doing, right?
But it's interesting because you have a lot of inside information. Like you, I don't know, you play poker, you play golf, you play whatever. You are in sauna, and you have a just a conversation with somebody who is planning a huge project,
Yeah.
and you know about it much earlier than anybody else. And this is when you get advantage and you get opportunities that others don't, because it can be real estate, it can be anything.
Oh,
You find out
definitely.
about it much earlier than it's available to the public.
Definitely, your network is your net worth.
So, and we are into like entrepreneurs, but it relates to sports, to arts, to whatever you are into. I think it's a must being part of a community. If there is no community, create it. Like, I'm pretty sure wherever you are, there are some people, at least 5 people, who are passionate about what you do.
I should get my interest in your community, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
should talk more about it afterwards.
What's interesting is that we have young people who are like on the beginning of their path, learning, this journey, and we have very like well-established dinosaurs, I call them.
Yeah.
And it's interesting symbiosis because youngsters, they have the fire in the eyes, they want to do stuff, but the older ones are teaching the young generation that it's not all about the money, but at the same time getting inspired by innovative approaches, by thinking differently. But this TikTok marketing, this is something new, and I love how things are happening. It's very
No,
nice.
definitely. Like, I even like, another good thing about the fact that we're recording this is I can look at my younger self after 10 years.
Yeah.
And you could see, like, because I have videos of myself even younger. I'm like, oh shit, look at that fucking guy with fire, with passion, with, like, I'm like, what happened? Like, where did I lose that in the process? And you get older, you like step on a few more mistakes, you learn some lessons and whatnot, and you're kind of more careful, you play it more safe and whatnot. But then, like, you need a little bit of both to make things happen, to reach that kind of success, which people define as success, I would say. And the more you grow up, the more you successful, made them enemies, stepped on mistakes and whatnot, the more you kind of play it safe. The beauty of people who are rising after us is they don't have a lot to lose, or in most cases nothing to lose.
Mhm.
And the best, like, you could see the best in them.
We have actually a program which I signed up for yesterday. It's about mentorship, and people in our community are taking mentees from 16 to 18 years old.
Mm.
And this is exactly about it. They're too young to be part of a community, but they have a desire. And by having an experienced person who is just gonna help him avoid mistakes, man, it means a lot.
It
And
does, yeah.
actually, the time costs money of those people, right? They're spending their time, and I think this is very valuable. And this is what we give back to the community. We're trying to make more people interested about entrepreneurship, about doing their own stuff, learning
But when you're
quicker.
young, all you have is time, right?
Yeah, you have shitloads of time.
And then when you grow up, you kind of realize quickly that time is the only thing you can scale.
Yeah,
You need
so the
to,
best thing to do is not die, man. Not
yeah,
die.
that's the worst thing that can happen. Like any other mistake you'll make, it's not critical. It's another chance to do again.
And actually, I was listening to a podcast about AI coming here, and they were talking about the robots doing surgeries.
I'm
And
still skeptical of that shit.
oh man, I'm so not. I'm so not, man.
Like, if you're in discussion with, like, people in the industry, with doctors and whatnot, they'll tell you that it's not as good yet.
Yeah, because they're the one who are gonna lose it. Of
Not
course, they're gonna
necessar-
sabotage it.
not necessarily that they want, like, job security and whatnot, but more like, I I take the IT industry alone, like coding
Mhm.
is dead and shit like that. Like, yeah, we've optimized the way we work. I'm not gonna lie. We automated a lot of shit, but a lot of it is hype.
It
and
is.
and at some point, like, my biggest issue with it is companies are buying everything left and right. They're investing huge amounts of money. If you take a look at the chip shortage, at the RAM prices in particular, DRAM is like creating huge
Mhm.
spikes and troubles in the market. If you take a look at that, the fact they buy everything left and right, the fact lots of money are being burned, somebody will have to pay the price at some
Yeah.
point. And the funniest shit is when you hear OpenAI say that we'll shove down ads down people's throat. You're like, has AGI come down to ads? Is that like the innovation, the ultimate innovative factor? And then, yeah, again, you see all the experts on LinkedIn especially, right, that you're going to be replaced, AI this, AI that. You're like, okay, I've seen this,
Mhm.
the same exact shit 1 year ago, 2 years ago. We'll see what's going to happen in 5 years, right?
But I want to give you a different perspective. Think about cutting materials. We used to do it by hand. Think of the level of precision we achieved with robots.
I agree with the,
Now think about eye surgery, a laser.
yeah.
When you get a laser, think of a doctor holding the laser in his hand. Would you trust that guy
No, but
with a laser going to
that's
your
not,
eyeball?
yeah, but that's not replacement. That is more automation. Like, I am
It
all,
is a replacement. Before, people were doing it with their hands. Now we're talking
yeah,
about
but
surgery.
you still have supervision, human supervision.
Yeah, you're gonna have human supervision with other robots,
That
but
that's
they're gonna be more precise than a human.
that's my point. Like when people read headlines like "you'll be replaced," it means you're left without a job. You're no longer productive to the society. Robots will do shit for you.
Hmm.
You're not gonna have shit to pay for. You're gonna fucking starve.
Hmm.
That's the general impression of what's going on when they read the headlines. And my point is, you just need to wear more hats. You just
Yeah,
need to be a more generalist. You just need to be,
upgrade your skills.
yeah, curious. Like curiosity, creativity, probably one of the best skills you can really invest into, right? And yeah, there's no, I'd say just be curious, be creative, try
So,
shit.
what do you use from AI tools?
Oh, I use a lot of shit. I actually automate. Like, I think for coding, I use Copilot, ChatGPT. What else?
Have you tried Code to Cloud Code?
Yeah, I heard of Claude. I
You
haven't.
never tried Cloud Code,
I haven't tried Claude.
man. That's a
Cursor
life-changing
Cursor
tool.
is pretty good. Like,
Yeah,
there's plenty of tools, right? I even have my own AI server deployed.
yeah.
I do some automation on that as well. It's fun. I'm not gonna lie, it's fun. It's helping me out be more productive. Like,
Hmm.
there are tasks which it used to take me days
Yeah,
to do. Now it takes me a few clicks.
yeah.
Really cool, really nice. But at the same time, what I'm trying to say is you're still gonna be relevant if you maintain a decent amount of, let's say creativity slash critical thinking skills, right? If
Absolutely.
you keep investing in that, you'll always be relevant. Like, the question you should ask yourself is, like, can you provide what the machines and AI are not able to provide, which is expertise
Hmm.
and critical thinking, and how do you grow a business's potential, right? If you can do that, then any company is ready to give you money to grow their business. And just start there. If you're that person, then there's no AI which is going to replace you.
But if you look at the evolution,
Yeah,
survived not the strongest one, but the most
the
adaptable
fittest.
one.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think human potential you know, has to uncover much more inside rather than opening, the doors who used to be manual or like carrying loads from point
Yeah,
A to point B.
the point is, a lot of people are like live in this concept that, like, there's people who only use manual shit and people who only use automated stuff, which
It's a
is
mix.
which is a false equivalent.
Yeah.
Like people already use those tools, right? It's not like,
There's the machine man right here
yeah,
in your
it's
hand.
it's not like I'm competing with a fully manual process. Like,
Yeah.
that's not the case. Like, everybody uses technology and AI and automation. Some people use it more than others, right? But at the same time, we still have call centers, we still have taxi drivers, we still
We
have
are automating call
surgeons.
centers, by the way.
And like,
We are removing them slowly.
yeah, like, we're doing a lot of old school stuff. automated it, yes. We augmented it, yes. Did we replace it fully? No.
Yeah, but honestly, I think it's going there. I think slowly
Yeah,
it's gonna
almost.
take longer than we think.
Yeah.
Like we still don't have flying cars. However, our parents were sure they'll be here in 20 years.
Yeah.
So it's gonna take slower than we think, but I think we're going there. And actually, the AI field is crazy fast, man. Like I have never witnessed something change so quickly. Not that I have like many years of living
No,
here.
it's a phenomena. I'm not gonna lie. Let's say I'm skeptical, but an optimist skeptical, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't like all the hype, but I love all the progress and actual impact which brings. So if you can revolutionize your business in ways you couldn't do otherwise 5 years ago, that's amazing, right? But when I hear all the fucking marketing and headlines and
I understand.
I just want to vomit, and I just don't want to be on that platform. I don't want to be on LinkedIn because of that shit anymore.
Are you using X?
Yeah, X is good. X
Yeah.
is good, especially if you want to follow like tech
Yeah.
people. That's the best
I
place
think
to
it's
be.
the best place to be. You're right.
Yeah,
And it's not very popular in Moldova.
I mean Moldova is everyone else but 5 years behind. Yeah,
I mean, definitely some things are coming later, like 2 weeks for sure. Because
take the same RAM prices. In
same
Moldova,
what?
RAM prices.
RAM prices.
In Moldova, you can still buy a lot of fucking RAM or old PCs that use DDR5 even or DDR4 at the old price. They still haven't caught up to the news, even though it's happening since November, I think already. Yeah, it's funny. Yeah.
Yeah, but you have a nice PC here.
Oh yeah. Now the RAM which lives in that PC costs more than the whole PC which I bought at the time.
Damn.
Yeah,
Well,
which
looks
is
fancy, man.
yeah. It's less about me, more about my guest. Anyway, so obviously there's a lot of stuff I would still have wanted us to cover, but yeah, my video guy will hate me if I make it any longer. So I'll try to wrap it up, but a V2 is definitely incoming, and I definitely want to be part of the community you're speaking so highly of. So we should catch up after this.
Yep.
And yeah, it's been my absolute pleasure to meet you.
Thank you, man.
It's been a wonderful discussion, and I welcome more of that.
Thank you for having me. It was my pleasure.
Yeah, it was my pleasure as well. And yeah, ladies and gentlemen, this was VUnstaged. Keep your mind open and your source unstaged. And as you can see, we haven't drank wine today. Drink of choice was tea. But yeah. And before we close this one up, do me a favor. If you really love this conversation and this episode, make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one.